Who stuffed a female celebrity into my car's trunk? Chapter 1: The kidnapping of the female celebrity begins. Hello, audience. The third episode of Sky Eye Operation is about to air. I am your host, Lin An'an. It was night. In the live stream room on countless computer screens, a fashionable and beautiful female host was speaking directly to the camera. By now, after watching the first 2 episodes, I'm sure you all know what kind of show this is. This is a brand new type of crime-solving program. Unlike any other, to simulate real-life situations, our production team will randomly select unsuspecting passersby to challenge the show. This was a crime prevention program. The aim was to showcase the country's advanced Sky Eye technology, facial recognition technology, and other investigative methods to send a strong message to potential criminals and to prevent crime. The first 2 episodes, once broadcast, left viewers stunned with a series of surveillance techniques and cutting-edge investigative technologies. The variety of high-tech methods used in the program quickly shocked many. The scenes from the first 2 episodes were a constant warning to their viewers. Don't commit crimes. In modern society, as soon as you commit a crime, even leaving the slightest trace, you can't escape the Sky Eye technology. So, after the first 2 episodes aired, the crime rate in the country dropped by 10%. The program was humorously nicknamed by online users, Mom. I'll never commit a crime again. The first episode was filmed in the capital city. The first challenger was caught in less than an hour. The second episode was filmed in the Magic City, and the second challenger lasted 2 hours. The female host, Lin An'an, said with a professional smile, "This time, we've come to Yancheng. And yes, we've picked another unsuspecting passerby. Everything is ready. Now, everything will begin right here in the parking garage of this office building. Can the challenger manage to last the entire day this time?" At this point, Lin An'an paused for a moment and slowly added, "You know, our production team has rewards. As long as the challenger can last a day without being caught by our pursuit team, they will win a 100,000 yuan prize. 2 days will earn 200,000, 3 days will earn 300,000, and so on. The longer they last, the higher the reward. Of course, I don't think anyone can last that long. We not only have Sky Eye technology, but also some very skilled investigators." At this point, the camera in the live stream changed. The screen was split into 4 frames, each showing a black silhouette. The female hostess voice continued. The first person is Han Fei, a former criminal investigation team leader with 30 years of experience. His case-solving rate is an astounding 98%, and he still holds the record. As she spoke, the first black figure was revealed. It was a middle-aged man, with sharp eyes that seemed to see right through everything. The second person is also quite impressive. She is a young woman but has already become a leading figure in national criminal psychology. She is Shumo. With these words, the second figure was revealed, a beautiful, slightly mature woman. As for the third person, he is known as the human camera. No disguise can escape his eyes. He once managed to take 100 photos in 10 minutes and accurately identify the people in them at different locations. His name is Li Chen. As she finished speaking, the third black silhouette emerged. It was a young man wearing frameless glasses, his index and middle fingers resting on the frames. And now, the last person. He is also from the criminal police team. While he may not be the best in any one field, he excels at everything: car chases, investigation, hand-to-hand combat. All of them are at a high level. If we were to rate his overall abilities, he would be the strongest in terms of overall capability. He is our old friend, Chen Ku. The final figure lit up on the screen. It was an ordinary-looking man. How long can our challenger last against our pursuit team, and the police behind them? 1 hour. Or perhaps a whole day. Now, the female celebrity kidnapping case begins. With Lin An'an's final words, the live stream room for Sky Eye Operation exploded. Most of the viewers had watched the previous episodes. For them, this innovative show was incredibly fascinating, and as soon as the live broadcast began, tens of thousands of people flooded into the room. Seeing such a luxurious lineup, many viewers were exhilarated. "I've been waiting for so long, finally, it's starting. This pursuit team is too impressive. I bet the previous 2 episodes were so popular that even the investigators became celebrities, and now these big names want to make an appearance. With this lineup, you think anyone can last a day? I bet half an hour will be enough to catch them. Who's the new unlucky challenger? I'm so curious. At least they should last an hour for their suspense. The live stream chat was flooded with messages. Some were impressed by the luxurious pursuit team. Others were curious about the new challenger. Some viewers were more interested in the kidnapping case involving the female celebrity mentioned by the host. Did you hear? This time it's a female celebrity kidnapping case. Did the production team really kidnap a celebrity? Who knows? Who could it be? While the viewers continued to guess, the scene in the live stream changed. The host disappeared, and the screen now showed an underground parking garage. The camera was directly focused on the elevator doors in the garage. Not long after, with a ding, the elevator doors opened. A figure slowly appeared from the gap in the elevator doors. They are here. Chapter 2, The Noise in the Trunk. Ding! The elevator doors on both sides slid into the wall. A young man in a slightly wrinkled black suit, with messy hair, walked out of the elevator. He took out a cigarette from his pocket as he walked, lit it, and took a long drag, exhaling a cloud of smoke. At this moment, the expression on his face was one of confusion and bewilderment. His name was Shumo, 24 years old. He only knew his real age because he had seen it on his ID card. After all, he wasn't originally from this world. He was a traveler, someone who had just soul transferred into a parallel universe. His only memories were from his previous life. He had no knowledge of this body he now inhabited. This car key should be real, he muttered. He pressed the unlock button. A black Volkswagen parked nearby flashed its headlights a few times. Whatever the case, he decided to fill his stomach first. With that thought in mind, Shumo walked toward his black Volkswagen. Meanwhile, the camera in the corner of the parking garage tracked his movements, and the viewers in the live stream saw him too. Is this the challenger for this episode? He looks handsome, but seems way too ordinary. Seems like he just got off work at 9 p.m. Probably one of those overworked office workers. Facing such an impressive pursuit team, can this guy last even an hour? I highly doubt it. This episode is probably going to be over in less than an hour. Sigh, boring, boring. As the barrage of comments ended, Shumo had no idea that he was already being live streamed. Hundreds of thousands of viewers were watching him and commenting on his every move. He stopped by his black Volkswagen, opened the door, and sat inside. He sat quietly for a moment, waiting for his cigarette to burn down. Once it was finished, Shumo was about to start the car and head home. At that very moment, thud! A dull, sharp sound echoed in the silent underground parking garage. What was that? Shumo froze with his hand still on the car's ignition. The viewers in the live stream also paused. Shumo glanced around but didn't see anything unusual. He thought it was just some noise from the surrounding area and was about to start the car again. However, only a few seconds later. Bang! Another, louder collision sound echoed. This time, the sound was clearer and much more intense, as if it came directly from his Volkswagen. The viewers also caught the sound. At the same time, the hidden camera inside the car captured Shumo's expression. He frowned in confusion and then turned to look at the back seat of the car. The camera shifted to show the back seat. It was empty, nothing was there. What was going on? Where did the noise come from? Shumo's confusion was mirrored by the viewers in the live stream. However, thanks to their hostess' previous hints, some of the viewers quickly guessed what might be happening and flooded the chat with comments. Wait a second, are they really doing something this big? Don't tell me, there's actually a kidnapped female celebrity in the trunk of this black Volkswagen. Oh my god, this is getting too exciting. In the first episode, they were just gathering illicit money, in the second, it was hiding weapons, and now, in the third episode, they are straight up kidnapping a female celebrity. Damn, this is getting wild. Which female celebrity could it be? As the viewers in the live stream speculated, a louder thud rang out from the car's trunk. At this point, even Shumo, who was usually thick-skinned, realized that something was wrong. After all, he was a meticulous person by nature. One or two strange noises could be dismissed as an accident, but the third noise, that was enough to raise suspicion. And when Shumo got out of the car and walked toward the trunk, the sound kept coming. This all gave him an uneasy feeling. From the rhythm of the noise, it didn't seem like a simple collision. It sounded more like something or someone was pounding on the trunk. What was going on? Shumo furrowed his brows and placed his hand under the trunk. He clearly remembered that there was nothing inside the trunk. So how could this be happening? Did a cat somehow sneak in? Or maybe another small animal? Shumo wondered as he slowly began to open the trunk. At the same time, the viewers in the live stream, curious about what was inside the trunk, leaned forward to get a better look. Chapter 3: The female celebrity tied up in the trunk. In the underground parking garage. The trunk of the black Volkswagen slowly opened just a crack. Through the gap, a pair of beautiful eyes stared out in fear, constantly shifting around. In the dim light, the white sclera and dark pupils were starkly defined, creating an unsettlingly eerie scene. At first glance, it was enough to make anyone's heart race. Shumo's heart skipped a beat, and he nearly screamed. Anyone who suddenly saw a pair of eyes through a gap in a car's trunk would be terrified. It was only because he managed to hold back that Shumo didn't cry out. He took several deep breaths before fully opening the trunk. The moment he did, a cold shiver ran down his spine. His mind went blank in shock. Inside the trunk, a woman with fair skin and delicate features was tightly bound, her body restrained by ropes, her mouth sealed shut with black tape. What the hell? Shumo couldn't help but curse aloud. He never imagined that a woman would be in the trunk of his car. And not just any woman, she was tied up with her hands and legs bound, and her mouth taped shut. This was clearly no small issue. But there was no time to think about that. Instinctively, Shumo reached for his phone. In the live stream, viewers who had been craning their necks to see what was going on froze when they saw Shumo open the trunk. They then let out expletives, quickly realizing what was happening. There's really someone in the trunk. Which female celebrity is it? I can't see. It's blocked. I'm going crazy, I can't see anything. The viewer's view was blocked by Shumo's back, so they couldn't see what was happening in the trunk, and they were getting impatient. But they did notice that Shumo had grabbed his phone. He's going to call the police. The voice of the female host echoed in the live stream. Don't worry. We've already made arrangements, she added. Yes. Shumo was about to call the police. Any sane person would have thought to call the authorities immediately upon encountering such a situation. And Shumo had the same idea. However, just as he was about to press the number for the police on his phone. Tap tap tap. The sound of footsteps echoed in the parking garage. The footsteps were growing louder as they approached. Shumo immediately stopped what he was doing. Someone was coming. The situation was clear. Inside his trunk, there was a beautiful woman tied up and gagged. If someone saw her, there was no way Shumo could explain himself. He couldn't exactly say, this beautiful woman wasn't tied up by me, she just magically appeared in my trunk, could he? No one would believe that. So. Clang. Shumo quickly slammed the trunk shut. Calling the police could wait. If anyone saw the woman in the trunk, things would get really messy. Shumo felt a bead of sweat forming on his forehead. Not long after, the footsteps were almost right behind him. A middle-aged man appeared in his line of sight, walking toward him. He passed Shumo, then walked over to a Cadillac, got in, and drove away. Phew. Watching the Cadillac leave the underground garage, Shumo let out a sigh of relief. At this point, the viewers in the live stream spoke up. Har har, I bet this guy almost peed himself from fright. I'd be scared too if it were me. But honestly, this guy's quick on his feet. Yeah, but what does it matter? With such a luxury setup for the show, this guy's definitely not going to last an hour. The pursuit team's probably getting ready to move in soon. Just waiting for the news broadcast. Amid the viewers' comments, Shumo picked up his phone again, preparing to call the police. However, when Shumo unlocked his phone and was about to dial the number for the police. Ding! A news alert popped up on his screen. Urgent news from Yangcheng. Tonight, the city's police headquarters received a call about a kidnapping. Famous actress Yang Jingxian was abducted earlier today. According to witness reports, the kidnappers were driving a black Volkswagen, license plate number UAXXXX. If anyone has information, please call the police hotline. Below is the car owner's information. What? Shumo's heart skipped a beat as he looked at the photo that appeared on the news alert. His eyebrows twitched, and he felt an overwhelming sense of disbelief. The photo was of him. I'm really a wanted criminal? Shumo couldn't accept this at all. He hadn't he done anything wrong? How could he possibly become a wanted criminal just like that? What kind of mess was this? This was the result of his predecessor's mistakes. Nothing to do with me. Shumo felt as if he were in a surreal nightmare. With his good looks, how could anyone believe he was a kidnapper? Was Yang Jingxian really that famous in this world? Like the equivalent of a top-tier celebrity in his past life? But at this moment, Shumo was less concerned about the female celebrity's situation than about being labeled a wanted criminal. This was a real problem. What should he do now? Should he still call the police? Calling the police now would only lead straight into a trap. Shumo was utterly confused and disoriented. He just wanted to understand what had happened. He was just an ordinary guy. He could avoid things for a while, but sooner or later, he would have to face the consequences. Or maybe he should ask Yang Jingxian about it. Yes. He needed to figure this out, clear everything up. If he was guilty, he'd admit it. At worst, he'd go to jail for a few years. That was much better than being caught and sentenced to decades in prison. After all, he hadn't hurt anyone. But the underground parking garage was definitely not the right place for questioning. Shumo felt an overwhelming sense of frustration. He had somehow been dragged into this mess and didn't he want to live a life on the run. He had wanted excitement, but this was beyond anything he could handle. It was too much for him to process. No longer hesitating in the underground parking garage, Shumo got into his black Volkswagen and decided to find a place to confront Yang Jingxian. He wasn't stupid enough to release her just yet. With the engine of the Volkswagen revving to life, a cold, mechanical voice suddenly echoed in his ear. Event triggered. Cat and Mouse Game begins. Chapter 4, The Two-Choice Reward. Cat and Mouse Game begins. Shumo froze for a moment. Who was speaking? He looked around, but there was no one in sight. Except for the woman in the trunk. But her mouth was sealed shut with black tape, so she couldn't have been the one talking. Could it be a hallucination? Just as Shumo was about to drive forward, the voice sounded again. In this cat and mouse game, your choices are: Choice 1, be the cat. Choice 2, be the mouse. It wasn't a hallucination. At last, Shumo realized the voice seemed to be coming from thin air, or perhaps from inside his mind. What was going on? Shumo's eyes filled with shock. This was the first time in his life he had encountered something like this. What startled him even more were the strange words conveyed by the voice. A cat and mouse game. Be the cat or be the mouse. It seemed like a choice-based game. The series of events that had unfolded since he left work tonight were enough to keep Shumo's mind spinning non-stop. In 2 lifetimes, nothing had ever been this thrilling. What should he choose? Shumo pondered. However, to the viewers in the live stream, his thinking seemed to mean something else. Why has he stopped? Is he scared? Definitely, this guy's probably stunned. If I suddenly became a wanted criminal, I'd be just as confused. Har har, I love watching these challengers when they see themselves as wanted criminals. The look on their faces is priceless. I hope this guy lasts longer, otherwise the show will be over too soon. In the barrage of comments, Shumo quickly made up his mind. I choose to be the cat. He silently thought this to himself. The next second, the voice sounded in his head again. You've chosen to be the cat. You have earned a 2-choice reward. Cat's rules: in this cat and mouse game, every time you successfully outsmart the pursuers, you will earn a corresponding reward. Outsmarting the pursuers. What did that mean? Did this mean Shumo had to trick the police officers coming after him? Shumo felt a headache coming on. Who would do such a thing? That was practically suicide. He had already become a wanted criminal out of nowhere. If he started doing this, the consequences would probably be even worse. He rubbed his temples, but the voice continued in his mind. Please choose your initial reward. 1. A Colt M1873 single-action revolver with 5 extra magazines. 2. An increase of 2 points in brain cell activity. Shumo fell silent as the voice echoed in his head. For a moment, he felt absurd. Both reward options seemed unreal to him. Neither fit with his life at all. It felt so out of place. Was this some kind of joke? It sounded like something out of a game. Could these rewards actually be useful? Shumo thought for a moment. If the rewards were real, then the revolver was obviously too conspicuous. Holding a gun was like carrying a ticking time bomb in his hand. He knew full well how strict gun control laws were in this country. If anyone found out he had a gun, that would cause serious trouble. And considering Shumo was currently a wanted criminal, that would make things even worse. So the choice was simple. Shumo chose the second option. I choose to increase 2 points in brain cell activity. He was testing to see if the reward was real. Almost immediately after making the choice. Thud thud. Shumo felt as if his brain had suddenly jolted. It was like an electrocardiogram flashing through his mind. His entire brain felt incredibly cool, and the sensation was overwhelmingly refreshing, like applying mental balm, but thousands of times stronger. In that moment, he noticed his vision improving. His previously slightly nearsighted eyes now saw with perfect clarity. The world before him became razor-sharp again. This long-lost sense of clarity exhilarated Shumo. His brain felt extremely clear and active, and his whole body was buzzing with energy, as if he had unlimited momentum. Keep in mind, he had just finished a long workday and was exhausted. But now, that fatigue was completely gone. He felt amazingly alert, and the sensation was incredible. He hadn't expected this two-choice reward to be real. At that moment, Shumo felt a rush of excitement. Even his breath seemed more eager. The thrill and excitement made him temporarily forget about the female celebrity in the trunk. Because this was a physical change. It meant that the cat and mouse game could enhance his physical abilities. This was a game. An incomprehensible game. A choice-based game. Now that Shumo had sorted all of this out, his hands, which had been resting on the steering wheel, began to tremble slightly. It wasn't just because of the tension from being a wanted criminal but also because of his excitement. His excited expression was, of course, captured by the hidden cameras inside the car and broadcasted live. All the viewers saw Shumo's exhilaration. What's going on with this guy? Is he smiling? How can he smile after being wanted? And still look so excited? This guy's not right. This challenger seems a bit different. He doesn't have something wrong with his brain, does he? The viewers were shocked by Shumo's excited expression. Of course, if Shumo had chosen the Colt M1873 revolver, the entire live stream would have exploded, and even the production team would be in chaos. At the same time, many viewers noticed that the Shenyang Action Live channel's second feed was also coming to life. The pursuit team's actions had begun. Chapter 5, The Capture Operation begins. Second channel of Shenyang Action. Alright, members of the pursuit team, you may begin your operation now. This is the personal information of the challenger. In a room full of cameras, several members of the pursuit team were gathered, along with their assistants and other staff members. The program staff was currently sending Shumo's personal information to them. On the projector in the room, Shumo's information appeared. Name, Shumo. Age, 24. Ethnicity, Han. Occupation, financial analyst. The information kept scrolling down, filled with details, even including Shumo's school history and work experience. This indicated that the program team had already conducted a detailed investigation on Shumo before the show even began. At a glance, Shumo's resume seemed rather ordinary. It could even be described as mediocre. After reviewing Shumo's information, the investigators had different reactions. This Shumo looks a bit too ordinary. The person speaking was Li Chen, who was known as their human camera. He said, "Are all the challengers you picked this unchallenging?" For him, participating in this show was partly about boosting his own popularity, but mostly about experiencing the thrill, specifically, the thrill of a cat and mouse chase. The premise, of course, was that the mouse had to be interesting enough. Otherwise, the challenge wouldn't be fun. Li Chen leaned back in his chair, chuckling, "If we go by this information, I'd say it won't even take a day, maybe not even a few hours, before today's show is over." He then looked at the others. "What do you think, should we go easy on him?" The suggestion was bold, but the tone was casual. No one took it as anything out of the ordinary. Go easy. Hearing this, Shinmani, the criminal psychology expert, glanced at Li Chen with a knowing look and smiled. "I think we don't need to go easy." "Why is that?" Li Chen asked. Shinmani replied nonchalantly, "This is our third season. In the first season, the pursuit team caught the challenger in 1 hour. In the second season, it took 2 hours. I think, instead of going easy, pushing our limits would be more interesting. Push the limits. Hearing that, Han Fei, another team member, stroked his chin. That's interesting. So, we aim to break the fastest capture record. And ideally, make it a record that no other pursuit team will be able to break. He turned to Shinmani for confirmation. Shinmani nodded. Exactly. That's how it'll be challenging. What do you all think? I think it's completely doable, said Chen Ku, who had been quiet until now. Li Chen thought for a moment and agreed. He also found this approach more exciting. As for Han Fei, he had no objections and asked, "How long do you think it will take us to catch Shumo?" "Shouldn't he take more than half an hour?" 30 minutes will be enough, Shinmani said confidently. The comments in the live stream went wild. 30 minutes? Is that even possible? If they really catch Shumo in half an hour, he must be really bad at this. I think it's possible. Shumo's personal information is completely ordinary. He has nothing special about him. Compared to the pursuit team's elite lineup, there's no competition. He'll definitely get caught. This is getting interesting. The pursuit team is bold enough to say that, so they must have some impressive skills lined up. I'm looking forward to seeing what tricks the pursuit team will show off. The way they captured people in the first 2 seasons really opened my eyes. Poor Shumo, he doesn't even know he's already the mouse in this game. Har har har. He's going to be so confused when they catch him. I can't wait to see the look on Shumo's face. While the viewers were commenting, the staff in the room smiled at the pursuit team members. Well, I'll go ahead and wish you all a record-breaking capture. Of course, I should remind everyone of the rules. To ensure fairness, you're not allowed to watch Shumo's live stream. But you can use all available means, such as checking surveillance footage from different districts, deploying police officers, and using police cars to track Shumo down. The pursuit team members nodded. They had already been briefed on these rules. The staff was merely reiterating them for the benefit of any new viewers. After this, the staff member was about to leave the room. But just then, he received a message. The hidden cameras on the Volkswagen have been spotted by Shumo. The staff member was startled and blurted out in surprise, "What?" Shumo found the cameras we hid in the car. Chapter 6: A different Shumo. Did Shumo discover the hidden camera of the program team? The head of the staff blurted out the words. The members of the investigation team in the room naturally heard it. The target seems to have discovered the camera hidden in the car. Did any of the challengers in the previous 2 episodes discover the hidden camera? No, they didn't find any hidden cameras until they were caught, but only knew they were broadcast live after the show ended. It seems that the challengers this time may be different from the previous 2 episodes. Several members of the investigation team started chatting. Li Chen said, "It's a bit interesting." Shinmani smiled and said, "It's a pity that we can't watch the live broadcast, otherwise we can tell whether Shumo discovered it by chance or really discovered it by his expression. It's probably a coincidence." Han Fei continued. After all, Shumo's personal information is too ordinary, the kind that can't even make a flower float if thrown into the crowd. He is not the only one who has this idea. Almost everyone thinks that Shumo must be lucky and happened to discover the hidden camera of the program team. But is this true? The perspective turns to a few minutes ago. Tianhe CBD. Shumo, who has gained 2 points of brain cell activity, has an unprecedentedly active cerebral cortex. This change is very abrupt. Shumo soon found that he had become different. This difference is not a difference in personality. It is not a difference in emotions. It is a difference in the brain. Moreover, it is a difference in thinking ability. And a difference in vision. After calming down, Shumo was driving out of the underground parking garage, but at this moment, he noticed a faint red light under the car's LED display. If it were him. This faint light, which is almost non-existent, Shumo would definitely not notice this detail. But after gaining 2 points of cell activity enhancement, Shumo's ability to capture details has changed. He stopped the car and looked down at the place with the faint red light. At the same time, in the live broadcast room, Shumo's face was magnified. A pair of eyes that became very bright appeared in the live broadcast room. Why did this guy suddenly look at the camera? Damn, he seems to have discovered the surveillance camera hidden in the car by the program team. Really? While the live broadcast room water friends were sending barrages. Suddenly, the live broadcast room screen went black, and Shumo and the camera suddenly disappeared. Awesome! Shumo really found the hidden camera. Is this the first time that a challenger has discovered the hidden camera of the program team as soon as he arrived? How did he find it? I guess he found it by chance. While the live broadcast room water friends were discussing, the camera screen was restored. Shumo's back appeared in the live broadcast screen. This is another hidden camera, a camera hidden in the back seat of the car. So Shumo's back and his movements can be seen. At this time, Shumo was holding a small, hidden camera in his hand. It is obvious that he has removed the camera. The faint red light just now was the infrared night vision headlight, which was used to emit infrared rays at night, reflect them to the body, and then return to be received by the camera. Shumo frowned slightly. The brain became active. Why is there a camera on his black Volkswagen? Could it be related to his current wanted status? No. Shumo quickly denied this possibility. At this moment, he felt that his thinking ability had become different from before. If this camera is related to his current wanted status, then he should have been reported long ago. The police should have come long ago. More likely, this camera is related to the kidnapped female star in the trunk of the car. The female star appeared in the trunk of his car. There are also hidden cameras hidden in the car. Things seem to be a little different from what he thought. Shumo's mind flashed with ideas. But no matter what, this is definitely related to the female star who was tied up in the trunk of the car. The most important thing now is to pry information out of the female star. He needs a place. A place that is safe enough for him to ask the female star for information. Obviously, the current environment is not it. Thinking of this, Shumo threw away the camera in his hand. Then he turned around and looked around the car. Since there is a camera in the car, who can guarantee that there will be no second or third camera? Soon, after his careful investigation, he saw the camera hidden in the back seat of the car. Then he leaned forward, stretched out his hand, and grabbed the second camera. No way! The second camera was also discovered by him. What is the situation with Shumo? Isn't it said that he is just an ordinary person who can't be more ordinary? This is too unexpected. Shumo finally broke the record of the challenger's confused face. As the live screen went black again, the whole live room suddenly became noisy. Har har har, this must be the first time the program team has encountered such a situation. The cameras hidden in the car have been discovered. How can we broadcast live? My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading, the latter is more exciting. The program team must have a headache. Before, the program team was playing with passersby, and now the passersby seem to be a little out of touch. Anyway, I think this program seems to be getting more interesting. It's no wonder that the live broadcast room fans gloated. In the first 2 episodes, the program team and the tracking members easily caught the challenger with flat A all their way. Although the program was also interesting, it didn't seem to be exciting. What do the audience like most? It's the variability. A program full of variability is a program with tension. This makes it more exciting. Song Ishue, the chief director of the director team, naturally knows this. So after seeing Shumo remove all the cameras in the car, she didn't have any headaches, but laughed instead. Because, as the chief director, her ideas are naturally different from those of the investigation team. The previous 2 challengers ended too quickly, and many things and capture methods could not be shown at all. If this 3rd episode ends quickly, although the deterrent effect of the reconnaissance method will still be very strong, but it is really disadvantageous to the program team, and the program will be difficult to continue. So, seeing Shumo dismantling the hidden camera in the car again, it was a surprise to Song Ishue. This time, a challenger who looks like something is finally found. She smiled and instructed the studio staff. Ask the Chinher Traffic Bureau for instructions. Next, we will use the surveillance cameras on the traffic roads for live broadcast. Okay. The staff immediately took action after hearing her words, without any questions. Because their program is strongly supported by the country. It can even be said that it is funded by the state. So all kinds of green lights are given along the way. Chapter 7: Shumo's thoughts and speculations. With the decision of the studio, Soon, the live broadcast room, which was originally a black screen, suddenly moved. The live broadcast was restored, but it was not the direct shot as before, but a surveillance picture. The camera showed Yancheng Avenue after 9 o'clock in the evening, with a constant stream of vehicles. A black Volkswagen appeared in the camera. The license plate was UAXXXX. This was Shumo's car. The viewers in the live broadcast room naturally knew about it and had to sigh at the means of the program group. This program group is really generous. Even the traffic bureau has to cooperate with them. That's nonsense. This program seems to be officially organized. I didn't expect that the program group would be forced by Shumo to use traffic surveillance cameras. Shumo is something. Can you guess how long Shumo can last without being caught? I bet 1 hour. Although he found the hidden camera of the program group, it's useless. He will be caught anyway. I bet Shumo will be the challenger who lasts the longest in these 3 episodes. Come on, in my opinion, Shumo is just a blind cat that finds a dead mouse. He just happened to find the camera of the program group. If it was the first episode of the tracking team, he would probably be able to hold on for an hour or two, but this episode, I don't think there is any hope. The tracking team said that they would catch Shumo within half an hour. Now there will be a good show. Just when the water friends in the live broadcast room were discussing Shumo, the camera entered the live broadcast room screen. Neon lights were reflected on the car window, constantly flashing across Shumo's face. First, the kidnapped female star appeared in the trunk of the car. Then there was the hidden camera in the car. Shumo felt that the two things were connected together, and there was an indescribable strange feeling. He was a kidnapper. How could he install a camera in his car? Is it that kind of exciting game? Filming 360 degrees without dead angles. What a lunatic. He shook his head. Logically speaking, if the kidnapper really kidnapped Yang Jingxian, why did he have to put her in the trunk of his car? Wouldn't it be a better choice to find a place to hide Yang Jingxian? Also, is it necessary to put so many hidden surveillance cameras in the car? After thinking about it, Shumo felt that it was not the case. There was no need for the kidnapper to do such a thing. Because the risk was too great. He was dressed like this, and there was enough cash in the car card. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't look like he needs a large sum of money urgently. Shumo couldn't think of it for the time being. The easiest thing now is to ask the female celebrity who was tied up in the trunk of the car. After sorting out his thoughts, Shumo turned the steering wheel and drove forward. Not long after the car started, 2 police cars appeared at the intersection in front of him, with red and blue lights flashing continuously, and a police officer in a traffic police uniform walked over. Shumo couldn't help but narrow his eyes. What kind of people is he most afraid of meeting now? The answer is police officers. There is a female celebrity who was tied up in the trunk of his car. As long as the trunk of the car is opened. Once others see the situation inside, Shumo has no chance to explain. Not to mention that in the wanted news just now, Shumo's information, including his license plate number, was broadcast. The wanted information is out. He has to explain with his head. What you fear will come true. Shumo's nerves were slightly tense. He wanted to turn around, but it was too late to do so. After 9 o'clock in the evening, Yancheng Avenue was in peak hours. There were many vehicles blocking the black Volkswagen, and there was no space for him to turn around. Stop! The traffic policeman who came over shouted, and at the same time looked at Shumo's license plate. This glance made Shumo in the car feel even more nervous. Is he going to be discovered? However, strangely, the traffic policeman only glanced at his license plate and did not show any abnormality. He walked to Shumo's car window and knocked on it. Shumo rolled down the window and saw the policeman took out something and said, "Blow it." Are you checking for drunk driving? Shumo asked. What are you asking if you are not checking for drunk driving? The traffic policeman looked at him and said, "Blow it." Shumo laughed and said, "I didn't drink." He was deliberately not cooperating, so after saying this, he focused on the expression on the traffic policeman's face. The other party said impatiently, "Just blow it if I ask you to. You will know if you are drunk or not after blowing it." The tone of the traffic police began to become stern. "Blow it quickly. Don't waste time here, or I will deduct your points. Didn't you notice?" Shumo suddenly felt a little strange. Logically speaking, even he could receive the information from the news pop-up window. As a police officer, How could he not receive it? As long as he saw the news, he would definitely know his license plate. But looking at the expression on the face of the traffic police, it was obvious that he was unaware. This was very strange. It was so strange that Shumo was a little surprised. What was going on? Shumo felt more and more that what happened that night was a little strange. Are you going to blow it or not? The traffic police asked again. Okay. Shumo then cooperated and blew it. After a while, the instrument showed normal, and the traffic police said a few words to Shumo in a bad mood and let Shumo go. Shumo then restarted the car and drove on the road, thinking in his heart, this is not right. Logically speaking, with such a big incident and the location being within Shumo's work area, how could the traffic police not know the license plate number? Something is wrong. It is too wrong. There are two possibilities. One possibility is that the traffic police really did not receive the wanted information. Another possibility is that the wanted information is fake. It has to be said that after experiencing the increase in brain cell activity, Shumo's mind turned very quickly. He glanced at the rearview mirror and stared at the trunk behind the car. If you want to figure out these things, you have to ask the female star who was tied up. Just then, a strange and familiar memory suddenly appeared in his brain. It was about his previous life. Shumo suddenly knew the address of his residence in this world. It was really a piece of cake to find it. Chapter 8. Did this guy make it real? Tangdong, garden community, in a remote corner of the underground parking garage. This is a blind spot for surveillance. Shumo sat in the car and smoked. While smoking, he looked around and waited patiently until he was sure that there was no one around. He then put out the cigarette in his hand, opened the car door and walked towards the trunk of the car. After a few steps, Shumo stopped at the trunk of the car. He looked around again. Still no one. Then he opened the trunk of the car. As soon as the trunk of the car was opened, the female star who was tied up inside tried her best to make a sound of and her forehead and small nose wings were full of sweat. At this time, the picture in the live broadcast room of the program group changed immediately. It became a picture with a perspective only the size of the trunk of the car. Obviously, this is the perspective of the female star Yang Jingxian. In the live broadcast room, the host's voice also made appropriate explanations. We installed a micro camera on Yang Jingxian. I knew it. Wait. Yang Jingxian. Is it the popular young actress Yang Jingxian? Damn, this is too awesome. Isn't she popular now? Why did she come to play a hostage? Who would mind being more popular? Now this program group is so popular, and their official relations, many stars want to squeeze in. This drama is getting more and more exciting. From the perspective of the live broadcast room, the audience can see Shumo's voice and hear his voice. Shumo said in a low voice, I will help you untie the rope and the tape on your mouth later, but I have two conditions. Although his voice is low, it is steady and powerful, giving people a sense of calmness. The water friends in the live broadcast room are obviously a little surprised by Shumo's state. Can this kid stay calm now? I misjudged you. After these 3 episodes, why do I suddenly feel that Shumo is likely to be a dark horse? Compared with the previous 2 challengers, Shumo is indeed a little stronger. Amid the astonishment of the fans, Shumo proposed his own conditions. First of all, when I help you remove the tape, you'd better not shout. Once I find that you have the sign of shouting, I will immediately block your mouth again, understand? The screen in the live broadcast room shook up and down, and it was obvious that Yang Jingxian was nodding. Very good. The second condition is that after I help you untie the rope, you'd better not move around and don't think about running away, otherwise, you will most likely be put back into the trunk of the car. At that time, I will not care about you, and I will not want this car anymore. If you are lucky, the police may find you within a day. If you are unlucky, you may starve to death in here and the police may not find you. Do you understand? The screen in the live broadcast room shook up and down again. The viewers were a little stunned. Fuck, this is the female star Yang Jingxian, such a beautiful woman, this Shumo can actually say such cruel words. 6666. This guy said such words, is he really serious? Awesome, if this guy does it for real, he will be like a cow standing upside down, awesome. This is the first time I have seen such a challenger, it's quite awesome. After seeing Yang Jingxian nod, Shumo stepped forward and slowly tore off the black tape on Yang Jingxuan's mouth. In fact, he could tear it off quickly, but he was really afraid that the woman would scream as soon as the tape was torn off, so he tore it off slowly to prevent this situation. Fortunately, this female star was very obedient. Until Shumo tore off the black tape on her mouth, she didn't scream. Very good. Shumo glanced at Yang Jingxian. The other party's face was pale, and her beautiful eyes were full of fear. He felt that he had changed. If Shumo had been in this situation before, he would not have been so calm, but now he could do his best to keep calm and get himself into the state. Is this the increase of 2 points of cell activity? Shumo liked this state very much, which gave him a feeling of being able to control the situation. He thought of the cat and mouse game again. This is just a reward similar to the novice gift pack, and it is so good. What about the subsequent rewards? For a moment, Shumo felt that his heart was beating a little faster. If it is all this kind of reward, then what if he plays cat and mouse game with the police officers who are coming? However, the most important thing at the moment is to get some information from the female star in front of him. Thinking of this, after Shumo helped Yang Jingxian untie the rope, he grabbed Yang Jingxuan's white right wrist with his right hand, which might allow him to easily control Yang Jingxian when she behaved abnormally. Shumo really felt that he had changed. Feeling that her right wrist was controlled by Shumo, Yang Jingxian felt a little pain. I thought this man was really strong. But his face showed an extremely panicked look. Half of this was acting, and half was real, because Shumo gave people a very different feeling. The real and fake made Yang Jingxuan's acting very natural. Come with me, don't make any noise on the way, and don't think about running away. Shumo leaned close to Yang Jingxuan's ear and said. Yang Jingxian naturally wouldn't shout, nor would she think about running away. She knew it was just a variety show. What she had to play was a female star kidnapped by Shumo. So she nodded tremblingly. Shumo then took Yang Jingxian back from the corridor to the room he rented. Why did he go back to the room? First, Shumo didn't think he was really a kidnapper. Second, Yang Jingxian in the trunk of the car was a time bomb in his eyes. If she wandered outside for a long time, something would happen sooner or later. So he brought Yang Jingxian here. But he would not stay for too long. After asking Yang Jingxian, Shumo did not plan to stay in the house any longer. Wait until he entered the room. Shumo locked the door. He motioned Yang Jingxian to sit on the sofa, and he sat on the sofa himself. He put the lighter and cigarette box on the coffee table and was about to ask Yang Jingxian. At this time, a tiny long hair on the coffee table caught Shumo's attention. Shumo narrowed his eyes, raised his head and said to Yang Jingxian, "Come here." Yang Jingxian was a little confused for a while. Then he found Shumo coming over, almost resting his head on hers, and at the same time reaching out to play with her hair. The water friends in the live broadcast room were stunned by this scene. Fuck, what does this guy want to do? Damn, is it real? Chapter 9 Terrible Observation Ability, Shocked Director Team. In the studio, the director team was also frightened by Shumo's sudden move. No one would have thought that Shumo would do such a thing. Several staff members immediately looked at the chief director Song Yishue. Just when Song Yishue was about to say something, Shumo moved in the live broadcast. He pulled out a hair from the head of the female star Yang Jingxian. Yang Jingxian made a sound of pain. Shumo compared the hair he pulled out from her head with the hair on the table, and his face looked a little different. It was not Yang Jingxuan's hair. The thickness and smoothness of these two hairs were completely different. As the memory of the previous body slowly recovered, Shumo knew that he didn't have a girlfriend. No female friends had come to his house recently. Only Yang Jingxian had come in. This was why Shumo pulled out Yang Jingxuan's hair for comparison. The two hairs were different. It meant that in addition to Yang Jingxian, there were other women who had come to his house. This situation now made Shumo alert. A woman he didn't know had come to his house. What was the purpose? Shumo's brain was thinking quickly, and he didn't stop his hands. He looked around the room. The viewers in the live broadcast room were confused by his actions. What is Shumo doing? How should I know? Why do I feel a little neurotic? What did he find? What is Shumo doing? He was looking for traces left by the woman who had entered the room. Unfortunately, there were no traces except the hair. just when Shumo thought he hadn't found anything. At this time, a familiar touch, the faint red light was captured by him again. You don't know if you don't pay attention. After concentrating his attention, Shumo found a hidden camera on his LCD TV. Then he found an extremely hidden camera above the curtains in his bedroom. There was even one in the bathroom mirror. In 10 minutes, he found 5 hidden cameras in his home. Cameras and cameras. What is going on? Why are there so many cameras in his home? Could it be that the person who placed the camera is a pervert, spying on him and watching his monkey show? Wait. Monkey show? At this moment, Shumo's mind seemed to flash with inspiration. The kidnapped Yang Jingxian. The camera in the car. The wanted information on the news. The traffic police who had no idea about the wanted news. And the hidden cameras in the house. It seemed that all of this was strung together by a thread, and the source was the kidnapped Yang Jingxian. Has she really been kidnapped? If she was really kidnapped, with so many cameras knowing his and Yang Jingxian's actions and locations, why hasn't there been any movement until now? Combined with the 2 guesses when he met the traffic police before, Shumo suddenly had an idea and looked at Yang Jingxian instantly. At this time, the entire live broadcast room had already exploded. Oh my god, how did this guy find so many cameras hidden in his home? This guy named Shumo is really a social animal. What kind of perverted observation ability is this? I am convinced, I am really convinced. Even if Shumo is caught by the investigation team in the end, I am willing to call him the strongest challenger. Has the investigation team not taken action yet? Why do I feel that if they don't take action, the record of catching Shumo within half an hour will not be completed? Not only the water friends in the live broadcast room were shocked. Even in the studio, the director team was shocked by Shumo's discovery. Chief Director Song Ishua immediately asked the staff, when you went to Shumo's house to install the camera before, were there any female colleagues? Yes, but we all wore dustproof shoes and gloves, and there was no trace left. The staff replied. Song Ishua waved her hand, no, you guys left it. It's the hair of the female colleague just now. Shumo found that hair, and after comparing it with Yang Jingxian's hair, he found that it was not Yang Jingxian's hair, so he immediately knew that someone else had entered his room, which allowed him to follow the clues and find the hidden camera we installed in the dark of his home. Hiss. Hearing Song Ishua's words, several staff members present immediately took a breath of cold air, and their expressions were a little shocked. Everyone looked at each other, and saw the look of disbelief in each other's eyes. It was just a hair that they usually ignored. Shumo actually found so much information from it. This guy is not just as simple as having a strong observation ability. It can be seen that his thinking ability is also extraordinary. Seeing everyone's surprised expressions, Song Ishua became a little excited. She said, surprised, right? Even we are surprised, and the audience must be surprised too. This Shumo is really a treasure full of surprises. Although the ratings of the first 2 episodes were also very popular, they were too single and did not reflect the confrontation. Programs without confrontation are not exciting. In the long run, our program ratings will definitely go down. I didn't expect that the challenger this time would be so promising. It's really the right choice. Speaking of this, she asked, how many people are watching the live broadcast now? Oh my god. As soon as she finished speaking, the staff next to her immediately checked the number of people online in the live broadcast room and were stunned. How many? Song Ishua asked again. The staff stuttered and replied, 1,500,000. So many. Even Song Ishua herself was shocked. She felt that the number of people in the live broadcast room might increase because of Shumo's performance, but she didn't expect it to be so many. Just when she was surprised, Shumo's voice came from the live broadcast room from Yang Jingxian's perspective. Take off your clothes. Chapter 10. I'm not interested in you. Take off your clothes. In the live broadcast room, Shumo's words stunned most people. Shumo actually asked the popular female star Yang Jingxian to take off her clothes. This is crazy. The whole live broadcast room was suddenly in a mess. Fuck, I'm stunned. Is Shumo crazy? Does he know that he is being broadcast live? He actually made such a request. If he knew that he was being broadcast live, he would say this. Exciting, too exciting. After meeting a lunatic like Shumo, Yang Jingxian probably regretted coming to this show. As the netizens guessed, Yang Jingxian couldn't believe her ears at all. Shumo actually asked her to take off her clothes. Oh my god! At this moment, Yang Jingxuan's brain was completely blank. She never thought that playing a variety show would actually make her get involved. Who is this Shumo? Is he really a social animal? Yang Jingxian could not see the kind of restraint that a social animal should have in Shumo, but more of an unfathomable sense of mystery. I. She was frightened and stammered, but before she finished speaking, she was interrupted by Shumo. Don't worry, I'm not interested in you, I'm interested in your clothes. Poochie? The water friends in the live broadcast room were amused. Har, this Shumo is really fucking awesome. I'm sure this is definitely the most irritating thing Yang Jingxian has ever heard. It's not hurtful, but it's extremely insulting. Yang Jingxian said, I'm such a beautiful beauty star, can't I be more attractive than my clothes? Song Yishue, the chief director who was originally frightened by Shumo's words, now flickered after hearing Shumo's words, as if she had guessed something. So she didn't take any measures and watched the live broadcast quietly. I'll give you 1 minute. Either take off your coat or I'll tie you up. Shumo stared at Yang Jingxian quietly. Yang Jingxian was speechless. She had no idea what Shumo's purpose was. As a hostage? Well, it should be said that as an actor who played a hostage. Yang Jingxian knew how to act. It's just taking off the coat, not naked, so it's acceptable. She immediately showed a panicked look and took off her coat. Soon, the screen in the live broadcast room shook as she took off her coat, and finally the screen froze at the ceiling. The viewers in the live broadcast room immediately understood that Yang Jingxian had taken off her clothes. Some people also understood Shumo. Why did he ask Yang Jingxian to take off her clothes? Shumo picked up the clothes that Yang Jingxian had taken off, checked them, and touched a small hard object. Sure enough, Yang Jingxian also had a miniature camera on her body. Shumo's guess became clearer and clearer. He did not take out the camera, but threw the clothes back to Yang Jingxian and asked, Did you kidnap you? I don't know. Yang Jingxian shook her head nervously. You don't know? Shumo laughed. Shumo's smile made Yang Jingxian feel like she was seen through everything. She said with a stiff face, I really don't know. I just returned to the hotel after filming, and then a dark shadow came over, and I felt dizzy. When I woke up, I found that my hands and feet were tied up by ropes, and I appeared in the trunk of your car. Really? Shumo could not deny it. Now he was thinking clearly. There were too many loopholes in Yang Jingxuan's words, so many that he didn't want to expose them. Besides, he noticed a detail before. Although Yang Jingxian was tied up, the ropes did not leave deep marks on her wrists and ankles. If he was a real kidnapper, would he be so gentle if he was doing kidnapping? He asked again, I'll ask again, who kidnapped you? At this time, all the memories of the previous life were restored. It can be said that he in this world is himself in another world. It was originally his own memory. Recovering the memory did not make Shumo feel uncomfortable at all. Like in his previous life, he was a law-abiding 996 social animal and a good citizen. Live a life of 3 points and 1 line every day. Economy is not lacking. Not for some kind of stimulation. He got excited. Run to engage in the kidnapping business. And he did not find any information about kidnapped Yang Jingxian in his memory. After a while, Yang Jingxian looked at Shumo subconsciously. Shumo smiled. He roughly understood what he said and said, so it can only be me who kidnapped you, right? After speaking, he did not wait for Yang Jingxian to answer. Instead, he picked up his mobile phone and searched for information. His appearance immediately made the studio watching the live broadcast move. Shumo seems to have guessed something. Song Yishue said. There are also smart people among the staff. Someone replied, he is suspicious. Song Yishue nodded, but he can't find any information. A few minutes later, Shumo did not find any relevant information. But he already had an idea in his mind. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. It is very simple to determine whether his thoughts and guesses are true. Just play a cat and mouse game. As explained in the previous game activation, as long as he successfully tricks the investigators in this game, he will get a corresponding reward. It is very simple to prove his guess. If his next action can get him a reward, it means that the guess is true. Thinking of this, Shumo tied Yang Jingxian up again, went downstairs, and walked into a 24-hour convenience store. His figure was projected into the live broadcast room through the community's surveillance camera. What on earth does Shumo want to do? How can he still think of going to the supermarket at this time? What did he buy? Shumo's behavior aroused everyone's curiosity. Soon, Shumo returned home and walked into the bedroom. When he came out, a pistol suddenly appeared in his hand. He was holding a pistol and deliberately showing it in front of the micro camera on Yang Jingxian. At this moment, everyone was shocked. Shumo actually has a gun in his hand. Fuck, what's going on? Something went wrong with the show. Could the show crew have accidentally selected a real criminal as a challenger? The pistol in Shumo's hand, like a stone thrown into a pool, instantly caused a ripple. When Yang Jingxian saw the black pistol in Shumo's hand, her calves trembled violently, and she couldn't stand straight, and screamed in extreme fear, You, what do you want to do? What do I want to do? Shumo laughed softly, Don't you think I'm a kidnapper? Then I'll do what a kidnapper should do. He threw his mobile phone to Yang Jingxian and said, Call your agent and ask her to transfer 100 million to this bank card within 5 minutes. Chapter 11 I'll give you a big baby. Arrogant, too arrogant. 100 million, Shumo really dares to ask for it. Oh my god, this live broadcast is going to become a criminal accident. Shumo made all the water friends in the live broadcast room nervous. It's not just them who are nervous. There are also the staff in the studio. Shumo actually has a gun in his hand. This is bad. Hurry up and notify the police officers in the investigation team. Since Operation Sky Eye is an officially supported program, not only is there a well-known criminal investigation captain in the investigation team, but also many police officers have been dispatched to the scene. Therefore, compared to calling the police, directly notifying the police here is the fastest. Very soon. Live broadcast channel 2. The investigation team, which was preparing for action, got the news. This time, the challenger Shumo has a pistol in his hand. Yang Jingxian is in danger. This news, like a heavy bomb, shocked and surprised the members of the investigation team. Shumo has a gun in his hand. Are you sure? Han Fei, the former captain of the Criminal Investigation Department, asked quickly. In China, gun control is very strict, and it is a very big deal for ordinary people to have a gun in their hands. Sure, we saw him take out a gun in the live broadcast room and threatened Yang Jingxian to deposit 100 million into his bank card. The staff explained. This guy is too bold. Among the members of the investigation team, Li Chen, who is known as the human eye camera, was a little shocked. Compared to their surprise. As the person involved, Yang Jingxian was not a good person. She never thought that she would meet a lunatic like Shumo just by participating in a variety show. 100 million. Where can she get so much cash? Besides, she came to participate in the variety show to become popular again, not to risk her life. Thinking of this, Yang Jingxian almost cried. Wait a minute. What? Shumo raised his head and laughed. Do you want to ask, where is my husband? As he said, he pointed the pistol in his hand at Yang Jingxian. Looking at the black muzzle of the gun, Yang Jingxian felt cold all over. She almost fainted, and she didn't care about keeping the secret for the program team. She shouted in panic, Fake, all fake. What's fake? Shumo asked. Yang Jingxian looked at Shumo nervously and explained, There is no kidnapping case, and I was not kidnapped. All this is fake, all the effect of the program team. You are now being broadcast live by a program called Sky Eye Operation. The program team then selected passersby like you who don't know the situation to challenge the program. Sure enough. It was not much different from Shumo's previous guess. He smiled and said, In other words, I was played. Yeah. Yang Jingxian nodded heavily and looked at Shumo pitifully. Shumo curled his lips, Then I will play you once. What? Yang Jingxian didn't understand what he meant. Shumo then said calmly, I'm going to give you a big treasure. What big treasure? Yang Jingxian was confused and looked at Shumo nervously, and found that the latter had pointed the gun at her head and said in a grim tone. A bullet. Suddenly, Yang Jingxian's breathing quickened, and his face and forehead were covered with cold sweat. He saw that Shumo's index finger was already on the trigger, slowly pulling the trigger, and his face turned pale with fear, and he subconsciously shouted, "Don't." He hadn't finished the sentence yet. Bang! Suddenly, a sound imitating a gunshot came out of Shumo's mouth. Yang Jingxian was directly frightened and screamed at the top of her voice. Oh! The water friends in the live broadcast room were also frightened. All the staff in the studio, including Song Yishue, were also shocked. It's over. The program team has played a life. Everyone looked at the screen in the live broadcast room with fear. Yang Jingxian was going crazy. She was usually spoiled, but for the first time in her life, she felt that death was so close to her. She didn't want to die. She didn't want to die like this. She couldn't help but close her eyes in fear, and was trembling all over at the simulated gunshot from Shumo's mouth. Har har har. This scene was so funny that Shumo couldn't help but laugh, because a string of silver white water flew out of the black barrel and shot directly at Yang Jingxian's fair face. It's just a water gun, look how scared you are. After the cold feeling spread across her face, Yang Jingxian touched her head. There was no blood or pits. The huge gap made her a little unable to react. She breathed a sigh of relief, her body was like being soaked in water, and she was sweating all over. She wanted to stand up, but she felt her legs trembling, and she almost collapsed on the ground, and couldn't help crying. Wow! You actually scared me with a toy gun. Yang Jingxian was crying and making a fuss. She was almost scared to death just now. You guys played with me like this, I'll play with you once, it's not too much, right? And too much. It was too much. Yang Jingxian was not mad at Shumo, how could these two things be the same? At the same time. Live broadcast room. Seeing a stream of water shooting out from the black muzzle of the pistol in Shumo's hand, sizzling on Yang Jingxian's beautiful face. Everyone was stunned instantly. What made them even more stunned was Shumo's next words. From now on, you are kidnapped. Chapter 12. Using a toilet plunger to plug a female star's mouth. Oh my god, it turned out to be a water gun. It was a false alarm. He knows how to play. This Shumo is so damn good at playing. The program team, the investigation team, and us were all fooled by him. Awesome. This guy is definitely not just playing, but has a purpose. Didn't you see that Yang Jingxian was so scared that she directly threw the program team out? You tell me that such a person is a social animal. Am I the only one who thinks that the picture of Yang Jingxian's little face being wetted by Shumo is a bit evil? After being shocked, the water friends in the live broadcast room quickly responded. They all felt that Shumo was a bit unusual. Compared with the first two challengers, he is a completely different existence. The first two challengers did not know the existence of the program team until they were caught by the investigation team. And this Shumo. It has only been a short time since the show started, and he has already used his own methods to get information about the existence of the program team. The gap is huge. But what does Shumo mean by that sentence just now? What does it mean that from now on, you are kidnapped? Could it be that? The viewers in the live broadcast room were extremely surprised by their own guesses. This Shumo is crazy. Does he dare to make it real? Oh my god, isn't he looking for death? It's so fucking exciting, har ha har ha, Yang Jingxian has played herself into it, the fake kidnapping has become a real kidnapping, the program team must be confused. I don't know why, I suddenly want to see the challenger win once. Do you think it would be more interesting if the challenger wins this episode? Don't talk nonsense, even if this Shumo is really good, he has to kneel down in front of the luxurious investigation team. I also think it's bad enough, no matter how smart Shumo is, it's useless in front of professionals. In the studio, the program team is really confused. Director Song Yishue was nervous about Yang Jingxian's safety at the beginning, and was stunned when she saw it was just a water gun. I have to admit that Shumo's series of performances are wonderful. Even for a director like her who has seen all kinds of plots. At this moment, I couldn't help but secretly applaud Shumo's performance. However, the question now is Shumo crazy? How dare he say such a thing? Doesn't he know that this is a live broadcast? Does he really think he can escape the pursuit of the investigation team? Song Yishue has a clear understanding of the strength of the investigation team. With such a luxurious lineup, it is no problem to deal with ordinary criminals, even cunning criminals. But she just has a feeling that the program team's leading direction has changed. Shumo has become the leader of this game from the beginning of the guinea pig. They seem to be played by this guy. On the other side. Live broadcast channel 2. The investigation team. What? Shumo has a water gun in his hand. He already knows the existence of the program team. Not only that, he unilaterally announced that from now on, Yang Jingxian has been kidnapped while knowing the existence of the program team. The members of the investigation team soon got the news. This guy, Chen Ku, the all-around pursuer of the Criminal Technology Brigade, smiled. It seems to be a little different from what we expected. It's interesting. Li Chen, the human eye camera, smiled. Is he provoking us? It's really beyond my expectation that an ordinary 996 office worker would behave like this. Criminal psychology expert Shumo said, it seems that our opponent is not as simple as the challengers in the previous 2 issues. Why, no confidence in breaking the record? Han Fei, the former captain of the Criminal Investigation Division, joked. Shumo lifted the hair by her ear and said, how could there be no, it's just a trick. They can't watch the live broadcast. But from the information they got, it's not difficult to guess Shumo's behavior at the time. We should act now. Whether Shumo's words are true or not, we have to catch him. Han Fei stood up. It's time to act. Li Chen next to him also echoed. Now, our first problem is to determine Shumo's location. From the information, Shumo's living address and company address are listed above. When we first heard Shumo dismantle the camera, he was in the car. Now it seems that he should have found a place to interrogate Yang Jingxian. Chen Ku said on the side. No need to confirm, Shumo should be at his home now. Shumo said directly. Chen Ku on the side looked at her. What do you mean? First of all, from the time Shumo discovered the camera on his car to the time we learned that he had a gun in his hand, it was very short. In such a short time, he could not drive far. Moreover, the traffic jam on Yancheng Avenue during this time period was very serious, and the place where Shumo rented was just in line with the company's address during this time period. Secondly, you should know that there was a kidnapped female star in Shumo's car at the time. Generally, there is an unstable factor in the trunk of a car that can make noises at any time. It is not a wise choice to drive outside for a long time. Furthermore, everyone has a psychological safety zone. You said that after being wanted for no reason, would Shumo take the female star home to ask, or to their hotel? Obviously, their hotel is not an option. Due to the traffic jam, Shumo obviously cannot bear such a long time and drive the car out of the city. Then returning to the rented room is the most convenient, most trouble-free, least likely to be discovered, and the most likely choice. Shumo's voice just fell. The other members of the investigation team nodded, thinking that her analysis made sense. In fact, Han Fei also made this judgment. Then let's go straight to Shumo's home. Tangdong, Garden Community. What do you mean? Yang Jingxian, whose long legs were frightened and limp, sat on the ground and asked in a somewhat embarrassed manner. It means literally, you don't understand what people say. Shumo threw down the water gun in his hand. I was kidnapped by you. Yang Jingxian was stunned and a little bit unbelievable. You have always been kidnapped by me. Shumo chuckled. Yang Jingxian was dumbfounded and had to explain, brother, my good brother, didn't I tell you just now that everything is fake? Shut up, if you say more, I will plug your mouth with a toilet plunger. Shumo left a word and walked to the bathroom. Yang Jingxian was really going crazy. She wanted to say something, but when she saw Shumo really walk towards the bathroom, she wondered if he would really use the toilet plunger to plug her mouth. How could she accept this, as she loved cleanliness, and she could not help but shut up. As for Shumo, was he really going to use the toilet plunger to plug the mouth of the female star? No. That was because a 2-choice reward appeared in his mind. You successfully fooled the program team and the tracking personnel, and won a 2-choice reward. Chapter 13. The tracking team came to the door. 1. Choose advanced psychological analysis ability. 2. Choose physical fitness plus 1 point. Please choose your reward. If possible, Shumo wanted both reward options. After experiencing the enhancement of increasing the activity of brain cells by 2 points, he naturally knew how exciting these option rewards were. It's a pity that you can only choose one. Then the choice is very simple. This is a cat and mouse game. If Shumo wants to continue to get rewards, he has to be the cat and keep playing tricks on the investigation team. That's why he said to Yang Jingxian, "From now on, you are kidnapped." Since the so-called Sky Eye Operation program team can play tricks on him, why can't Shumo play tricks on them and play a big one? You want to play, right? If you want to play exciting. He wants to let the program team understand that ordinary people also have tempers. If it weren't for the cat and mouse game choice that suddenly appeared in the middle, Shumo was almost certain that in this case, he would really be the mouse that was laughed at and played by people in the program. Until the end of the program, he would be laughed at and become a typical example of the opposite. It's ridiculous. The program team is for the purpose, and the female star is for popularity, so why can't Shumo continue to play for the reward? As for the investigation team, what they offer and what strength they have, Shumo is not clear for the time being. But now he has enough thinking. But physical fitness is fundamental. So, advanced psychological analysis ability was quickly ruled out by him. He chose the option of physical number plus 1 point. You chose physical fitness plus 1 point. Strengthening your physical fitness. Strengthening completed. As their voice in his head finished prompting, Shumo immediately felt the changes in his body. His lower abdomen and muscles seemed to be scurrying around, and a stream of heat kept surging in his body. He stood in front of the wash mirror, lifted his shirt and took a look, and saw 8 abdominal muscles on his abdomen. Although the outline was not very obvious, he only had 1 abdominal muscle here before. He could feel that his sub-healthy body that was typing code all day had changed and became full of strength. This feeling was really great. There has never been a moment when Shumo felt this kind of fullness in his body. He waved his fist and felt the strong wind on his fist, and his shooting speed also increased a lot. It's awesome. There is nothing more exciting than this. The changes in his body made Shumo's face full of excitement. If the rewards are all like this, he has to play this cat and mouse game. Be a cat and play with the mouse. Thinking of this, Shumo put down his shirt and walked out of the bathroom, and saw the female star Yang Jingxian in the living room looking at him nervously. "Are you hungry?" Shumo asked inexplicably. Yang Jingxian was scared by Shumo's tricks just now, and she was full. How could she feel hungry? She was a little confused by Shumo's question, and said unhappily, "No." "Okay, then I'll order my own takeaway," Shumo said lightly. "Huh." Yang Jingxian didn't react a little. "You order takeaway now. Is it not possible?" Shumo glanced at her. Yang Jingxian really couldn't understand what Shumo was thinking. First he said that she was kidnapped by him, and now he asked her if she was hungry, and then he wanted to order takeaway. She felt that her thinking couldn't keep up with this Shumo. What the hell is this guy doing? Was their words just now meant to scare her? Yang Jingxian suddenly thought of what Shumo said just now, "Haven't you been kidnapped by me all along?" She had some vague guesses in her heart. The reason why she agreed to become a kidnapped female star was not for exposure and popularity. What was Shumo doing for? Yang Jingxian couldn't think of it, but Shumo saw her thoughtful look, as if he guessed her inner fluctuations, and smiled. "Have you figured it out?" This guy's eyes really seemed to see through her. How can intuition be so accurate? Yang Jingxian was able to become a well-known female star, so she was naturally not stupid, and nodded and said, "I have figured it out." Okay. Shumo took off the small camera on Yang Jingxian, and the live broadcast room suddenly became dark. He said, "If you have figured it out, just find a hotel to wait for me. Aren't you afraid that I will run away?" After figuring it out, Yang Jingxian was not so stressed. Although she was still tied up by Shumo, her tone became much more relaxed. "My intuition tells me that you won't run away." Shumo smiled lightly. "HMPH." Yang Jingxian snorted. This guy is really confident. But the fact is indeed so. She really won't run away. I can't help but remind her, "Don't forget that you are now wanted." "So what?" Shumo still said in a calm tone. "So what?" Yang Jingxian repeated Shumo's words a little speechlessly. "If I guessed correctly, the investigation team will be here soon." "You told me so what?" "You, a kidnapped hostage, are quite concerned about the kidnappers." Shumo said with a smile, "The emperor is not anxious, but the eunuch is." Then he untied the rope on Yang Jingxian. "You!" Yang Jingxian was so angry that she vomited blood. She rolled her eyes and said angrily, "Forget it, you'd better get caught quickly." Then she opened the door and walked out. My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's more exciting later. I thought Shumo was really hopeless. As a female celebrity who was kidnapped, she naturally didn't want Shumo to be caught by the investigation team so soon, otherwise she wouldn't have much exposure in the whole show. If Shumo couldn't hold on for an hour before being caught, then what exposure would Yang Jingxian have? Looking at the sound of her leaving, Shumo smiled. Do you really think he ordered takeout for a meal? Shumo walked to the kitchen and turned on the microwave to operate it. At the same time, the live broadcast room was dark. Is Shumo crazy? Ordering takeout at this time? Did he give up because he knew he couldn't escape the investigation team? It seems that those were just Shumo's last highlights. I don't understand, the investigation team is coming soon, and he's still ordering takeout. You say he's stupid, but he's pretty smart. What the hell is this guy doing? Shumo, I can run, but I don't run, I'm just playing. Not only the fans in the live broadcast room couldn't understand. The directors in the studio couldn't understand Shumo's behavior. Why didn't he run away and order takeout at this time? Isn't this courting death? 20 minutes later. Live broadcast channel 2. Tangdong, at the entrance of Garden Community. 3 men and 1 woman got out of 2 police cars. They were the members of the tracking team. The leader, Han Fei, looked at the 24th floor of Building C in Garden Community. The lights are still on. Didn't Shumo run away? Several people frowned in confusion. No, it's possible that he ran away and didn't have time to turn off the lights. Let's go up. As they talked, several people walked into the community and came to the downstairs of Shumo's building. After entering the first floor, Han Fei looked around and found 2 elevators and a staircase on the side. He thought for a while, and then ordered, Chen Ku, you stay on the first floor to prevent Shumo from running away from another elevator or corridor. Okay. Chen Ku nodded. Han Fei, Li Chen and Shinmani then pressed the elevator button and waited for the elevator to come down. The live broadcast room launched a barrage of comments. Shumo is really too arrogant. The people in the investigation team have arrived. What a pity. I thought Shumo could hold on for a long time. How stupid. He even ordered takeout. I'm dying of laughter. Shumo sighed. Why did he order takeout? It was simple. He wanted to give a surprise to the investigation team that was about to meet for the first time. Cat and mouse game, the rules are nothing more than cat playing with mouse. The key is the word play. Only in this way can Shumo get rewards one after another. As for who is the cat and who is the mouse, Shumo is not sure. However, this does not prevent him from wanting to play a big one. The higher the risk, the greater the reward. Thinking of this, Shumo glanced at the running microwave oven. At the same time, with a ding sound, the elevator in the corridor opened its door. Then, knock knock knock. Someone knocked on Shumo's door. Chapter 14 Passing by, the microwave oven about to explode. Knock knock knock. The door outside the house was knocked repeatedly. The viewers in the live broadcast room looked at it with some gloating. Is the investigation team here? No. Shumo glanced at his phone and looked at the time and distance on the software. 1 m. The other party has arrived. He opened the door, and a yellow figure slowly appeared in front of Shumo. Mr. Shu. Shumo stared at the yellow helmet and clothes on the other party, then nodded, yeah. Your takeaway. The takeaway boy handed the takeaway bag to Shumo and said, please give a 5-star review, thank you. After that, he turned around and was about to leave. Shumo stopped him, wait. What's the matter? The takeaway boy stopped and looked back at Shumo. Shumo said slowly, I want to buy your helmet and the Meituan takeaway jacket you are wearing. Why do you want to buy this? The takeaway boy was a little surprised. Shumo didn't explain much, and directly threw money and said, 2,000 yuan, will you sell it? Are you kidding me? The takeaway boy was stunned instantly. Just kidding. The helmet on his head, plus the Meituan takeaway jacket, can be said to be worth at most 200 yuan. Now Shumo said he would pay 2,000 yuan to buy it from him. He felt that Shumo was teasing him. I'm not kidding you. Shumo said seriously, have you seen the model? I have an appointment with a goddess. I'm going to play some fun later. You know. After that, he showed a smile that all men understand. The takeaway boy understood instantly, thinking that this guy is really good at playing, and immediately agreed. Okay. Then come with me into their house. Shumo walked into the room and transferred 2,000 yuan to the delivery boy. When the delivery boy saw the money, he thought he was lucky today and earned 2,000 yuan for nothing. How many takeaways would he have to run to earn that much? He took off his coat and helmet with some satisfaction and handed them to Shumo. Mr. Shu, is that okay? If it's okay, I'll leave first. There are still a few takeaways to deliver upstairs. He was afraid that Shumo would regret it, so he wanted to leave quickly. Okay, you go. Shumo nodded. The delivery boy then left the room. Shumo closed the door, put on Meituan Takeaway's clothes, and put on Meituan Takeaway's helmet. Then he opened the takeaway and casually took a few bites of barbecued pork. Then he opened the door and walked out. Although there were no hidden cameras in Shumo's room. But the surveillance camera in the corridor pulled Shumo into the room with the delivery boy, and then a person who looked different from Shumo came out. Not long after, Shumo, who was wearing Meituan delivery clothes and a Meituan delivery helmet, also came out. Although Shumo's face could not be seen. But the water friends in the live broadcast room were not fools. After a while, many people guessed Shumo's thoughts. 6666, this Shumo is amazing, he plays so damn well, I didn't expect there was such a trick. Har har, is it okay to pretend to be a delivery boy? Look, what kind of brain is this guy, I thought he really wanted to eat takeout. The investigation team must not have thought that Shumo had become a delivery boy. It must be too late to react at the first time. I kind of want to see the next plot. Accompanied by the barrage of water friends. As soon as Shumo walked out of the door, a couple, a man and a woman, walked past him, chatting as they walked. A police car came to the gate of the community, and I don't know what it's for. Who cares? You didn't do anything bad, so why worry about it? The conversation between the two caught Shumo's attention. Has the investigation team come? Shumo frowned slightly, walked to the elevator entrance and pressed the elevator button, then looked at the elevator display. The one on the right was going up, showing that it had reached the 27th floor. This should be the elevator that the takeaway boy took. The one on the left showed that the 19th floor was rising. This was the elevator he was going to take. In less than a minute. The elevator showed 20, 21, 22, 23. Finally it stopped at the 24th floor. Ding! A crisp sound rang out. The elevator door in front of him slowly opened and shrank into the door gaps on both sides. Three figures suddenly appeared in Shumo's sight. Shumo subconsciously glanced at the three people. They were two men and one woman. The temperament looks very extraordinary, not like a resident of the community. The three people also looked at Shumo. It turned out that he was just a takeaway boy. Shumo lowered his head so that people could not see his face, pretending to read the information on his mobile phone, giving people the impression that he was in a hurry to deliver the order. The three people then turned their eyes away from Shumo and walked out of the elevator while talking. Which room does Shumo live in? 2403. The three people walked towards 2403 while talking. Their conversation was heard by Shumo. Is this a member of the tracking team? Under the Meituan helmet, Shumo smiled slightly and pressed the button for the first floor in the elevator. The elevator door was slowly closing, and their view in the corridor was getting smaller and smaller. Shumo saw two men and one woman walking to the door of his room and knocking on the door. Open the door. Shumo, open the door quickly. Knock knock knock. The three people shouted for a while, but there was no response in the room. Li Chen next to him said, it seems that Shumo ran away. Open the door and take a look. Han Fei said. Then he stepped back a few steps, then rushed forward and knocked the door open. As the door was knocked open, the elevator door was also tightly closed. In the descending elevator, Shumo breathed a sigh of relief. Although the investigation team didn't find him just now, as long as they entered the room, the three people would soon notice the trick through the barbecued pork rice on the table. However, that was left by Shumo deliberately. The game is exciting. Not only that, Shumo also left a big gift bag for the investigation team that came to catch him. A microwave oven that is about to explode. Chapter 15 Shumo's Provocation. As a wanted target, he actually swaggered past the noses of 3 pursuers. This feeling is simply exciting. Shumo had never felt so excited before. It was much more exciting than his previous life of going to and from work every day. There is a strange, indescribable excitement. The viewers in the live broadcast room were obviously like chicken blood, typing 666. Too sexy. Shumo in this episode is just too sexy. Har har har, the members of the investigation team must be confused. Who would have thought that Shumo would play the role of a delivery boy? Shumo obviously couldn't see the praise from his fans. The elevator was still descending and the red number on the display was also decreasing. With a final ding sound, the elevator stopped at the first floor and opened the door automatically. As Shumo stepped out of the elevator, he couldn't help but narrow his eyes slightly. Because among the people who go up and down the elevator normally, one person stood out in particular. When this person saw the elevator reach the first floor, he neither entered nor left the elevator door. Instead, he stared at the elevator. That's not all. The man's attention was also directed to the staircase on the side. There are more than just 3 people in the pursuit team. And the person in front of me. Shumo understood it instantly. But it's not surprising, because this is the most reasonable approach. If you want to prevent him from running away, someone must guard the exit. Got to leave quickly. Otherwise, the 3 people above would definitely react. Shumo walked slowly. Near the elevator, Chen-ku naturally saw Shumo as well, and his eyes were always on the latter. However, when he saw Shumo's Meituan takeaway clothes and the Meituan helmet on his head, his vigilance was immediately reduced by more than half. At the same time, in room 2404, Han Fei, Li Chen and Shinmani started searching everywhere as soon as they entered Shumo's room. After a quick search, there was no sign of a single person. Shumo ran away. This kid is quite fast, Li Chen said in the kitchen. The female star Yang Jingxian, who was held as a hostage, also disappeared. Shinmani and Li Chen were communicating. Han Fei ignored their words and instead fixed his eyes on the takeaway on the coffee table in the living room. Captain Han, did you find anything? Noticing Han Fei's situation, Shinmani asked. Han Fei did not answer. He walked to the coffee table and touched the takeaway box with his palm. The takeaway box was still hot, and not just ordinary hot, but the kind of hot that had just been opened not long ago. He said to Shinmani, "The takeaway box is still hot." Shumo definitely didn't go far. When we came over, he even ordered a takeaway. This guy is really bold. Ordered takeout. Shinmani was stunned. She didn't expect that Shumo, a wanted criminal, would have the leisure to order takeout in this situation. This kind of person is either crazy or just very confident. I was confident that I could escape from under their noses even if it meant ordering a takeout. Judging from the current situation, Shumo is undoubtedly the second type. Because he did escape. When Shinmani and the others came up, they didn't encounter any suspicious people, etc. The delivery guy just now. Piping hot takeaway. The delivery guy looking down at his phone. Shinmani seemed to have thought of something all of a sudden, and said loudly, "Shumo is not a coward. This guy ordered takeout not for the food, but for the clothes on the takeout boy. The takeout boy just now is very likely Shumo in disguise." Being reminded by Shinmani, Han Fei also reacted. The delivery guy had been looking down at his phone and never raised his head. At that time, Han Fei thought that he was probably in a hurry because his time was about to expire. Now it seems that he was most likely avoiding their sight. This guess is very likely. Han Fei immediately picked up his phone, ready to alert Chen-ku, who was watching downstairs. At this time, bang! Suddenly, there was an explosion sound coming from the kitchen. What's going on? The sudden explosion startled the 3 of them. Li Chen, who was in the kitchen, felt it the most deeply. He saw the microwave in the kitchen explode, spraying out a lot of flour, which soon caught fire. Seeing this situation, Li Chen immediately reached out and took down the basin hanging on the wall to prepare to turn off the fire. This one. A diary-sized piece of paper fell out of the basin. He glanced at it subconsciously. The paper only said, "Members of the tracking team, I hope you don't treat this as a game. I hope you treat me as a real wanted criminal, leaving no room for doubt." This will make me excited. Tell me, if I put flammable materials and some nails and iron filings in the microwave instead of a bag of flour, what would happen if someone was in the kitchen when it exploded? So, in this live broadcast, I will let you know that real criminals are not that simple, so show your strength. Chapter 16 Shumo, stop right there. This Shumo. Too arrogant. After seeing the contents on the paper, Li Chen showed a look of surprise on his face. Since the show was broadcast until now, no challenger has ever dared to provoke the investigation team like Shumo. You know, their investigation team is not a pushover. The members are not ordinary people. A former captain of the Criminal Investigation Division with extensive experience. Have the strongest brain. There are criminal psychology experts. There are also members of the Criminal Police Brigade with extremely strong comprehensive qualities. Shumo actually dared to play like this. Good job. I really didn't expect this. Not only Li Chen didn't expect this, Shinmani also saw the contents on the paper after she came in. Shumo is such a bold and arrogant guy. Li Chen said. Shinmani picked up the paper and said with a smile, to be able to do this, it is not just daring. This Shumo is not simple. Generally, challengers will have a certain psychological pressure when facing the investigation team, and they are prone to making mistakes. However, this Shumo not only disguised himself as a takeaway boy, but also walked into the elevator in front of the three of us. It is enough to show that he has a strong psychological quality. He was able to think of all these in a short period of time, and made a quick choice, and even used the microwave explosion to give us a warning. This shows that he is not only mentally strong, but also has a very clear mind. At this point, Shinmani shook her head and said, "What a pity." "What a pity?" Li Chen asked after listening to her analysis. Shinmani then continued, "It's a pity that he only missed the hot takeaway, otherwise we probably wouldn't be able to react in a short time." Shumo disguised himself as a takeaway boy and ran away. At this point, Shinmani paused and asked Li Chen, "Do you think he did it on purpose, or did he forget?" There probably isn't enough time to think so much. Who would intentionally leave a flaw for others to discover? Li Chen replied. Shinmani smiled and said, "That's not necessarily true. Judging from the way Shumo left this note, I guess he should be an achievement-oriented personality or an exhibitionist personality. These two types of people like to make big news when they do things, especially crimes. If we didn't find out about such a sophisticated setup, would Shumo feel a sense of accomplishment? Definitely not. So, the takeaway should have been left by him on purpose. But he was too arrogant. Captain Han is worthy of being the former captain of the Criminal Investigation Department with a 98% crime-solving rate. As soon as he came in, he discovered the suspicious points left by Shumo and guessed that the takeaway boy just now was most likely Shumo. If this guy is really like this, then he is really not an ordinary person. After all, Li Chen is not an expert in criminal psychology. Although he is known as the human eye camera, to put it bluntly, his ability is instant memory. After listening to Shinmani's analysis, he had to admit that everyone has their own expertise. Then he asked, "Where is Captain Han?" Captain Han is calling Chen Ku on the first floor. Who do you think will come down faster, Shumo or the phone? Speaking of this, Shinmani smiled. First floor, Building C. It was indeed as Shinmani analyzed, the takeaway was left there intentionally by Shumo. As for why? That's because of the rules of the cat and mouse game. In this cat and mouse game, every time you successfully trick the pursuers, you will receive a corresponding reward. Shumo wanted to test whether the reward would change as the difficulty he chose increased. However, soon, he found that he seemed to be a little too arrogant. When Shumo passed by Chen Ku, who was guarding the first floor, Chen Ku withdrew his gaze because of the Meituan takeaway clothing and helmet on the former. It is totally unexpected that Shumo would be playing the role of a delivery boy at this time. When Shumo stepped out of the first floor door, beep, beep. The cell phone in Chen Ku's hand rang. Shumo, who was about to step out of the door, naturally heard the ringing of his cell phone. He immediately realized that the situation was not good and that he might have been discovered. In such a short time, he was able to guess that he was playing the role of a delivery boy by looking at the takeaway box. It seems that the three members of the investigation team above, not ordinary either. Thinking of this, Shumo started running quickly. His action immediately caught Chen Ku's attention, but Chen Ku, who was on the phone, kept an eye on Shumo while asking Han Fei, Captain Han, have you caught Shumo? No. Han Fei said quickly, did a takeaway guy go downstairs just now? Well, the person is running in front of me now. I guess the takeaway is about to expire. Chen Ku replied subconsciously, but soon realized something was wrong. With Han Fei's personality, he would not call him specifically to ask about the delivery guy's problem. The takeaway is overtime, hurry up and catch up. Han Fei almost vomited blood when he heard Chen Ku's words, that delivery boy is most likely Shumo. Oh shit. Even though he guessed it, Chen Ku was still surprised. He never expected Shumo to do this. Don't worry, he can't outrun me. Chen Ku immediately put down his phone and shouted to the delivery boy in front of him, Shumo, stop right there. Chapter 17 I've messed with the delivery guy. Chen Ku's voice sounded from behind Shumo. Joke. At this time, if I don't run, I will be caught by you. Shumo was not a fool. Instead of stopping, he ran even faster. This kid can actually run so fast. Chen Ku behind him was also slightly surprised. You know, he was the one with the best physical fitness among the 4 members of the tracking team, so his running speed was naturally not slow. But what he didn't expect was that Shumo could run so fast. Fortunately, it was him who was keeping watch on the first floor. If it were Shinmani, that would be the end of us. Shumo was also surprised. His body had just undergone a physical enhancement, and it could be said that it was much stronger than that of ordinary people. I didn't expect that I couldn't get rid of the other person. It seems that there are a lot of capable people in this investigation team. Shumo ran out of the community quickly. He had lived in this community for 2 years. It could be said that he was very familiar with every place around the community. He could find the way with his eyes closed. He also knew that there was a snack street near the community where there was a Meituan takeaway delivery station. His purpose is simple. Still a takeaway boy. Since he couldn't get rid of the pursuers behind him in a short period of time, he decided to confuse them. Thinking of this, Shumo ran towards the snack street nearby. Not long after, he saw the Meituan takeaway station. At this time, outside the station, there were 2 delivery guys wearing the same clothes and helmets as him. They were sitting on a small electric scooter parked on the side of the street with their backs to him, smoking and chatting. Shumo's eyes suddenly lit up and he smiled. He quickly ran into the small alley at the side. At the same time, Chen Ku chased Shumo all the way into the snack street and was immediately confused. Also confused like him were the viewers in the live broadcast room who were seeing the scene through the miniature camera on his body. After being confused, they began to gloat over the misfortune. Har har har, I'm dying of laughter. Chen Ku must be having a headache. He keeps chasing Shumo, and 1 delivery boy has become 2 delivery boys. Which one is Shumo, the real or fake delivery boy? Did Shumo do this on purpose? It was definitely intentional. He must have known that there was a takeaway station here, so he deliberately led Chen Ku here. It's really insidious, but I like it. Chen Ku naturally had no idea that his fans were teasing him again. He was really overwhelmed at the moment. As soon as he turned into the snack street, he saw the backs of 2 delivery boys. He suddenly felt something was wrong. He ran over quickly, past the 2 delivery guys, and took a close look at their faces. One of them had a beard. The other was a middle-aged man, probably around 40 years old. These 2 delivery guys are not Shumo at all. Where did you go? Chen Ku looked around. There were many alleys in the snack street. At this moment, he was confused by the backs of the 2 delivery boys and was delayed for a long time. Now it was not so easy to find Shumo. Have you ever seen a delivery guy running by wearing the same clothes as you? There was no other way. Chen Ku could only ask the 2 delivery guys. Are you talking about him? The bearded delivery guy heard what Chen Ku said and pointed behind him. Chen Ku turned around and saw another delivery guy wearing Meituan delivery uniform riding an electric scooter coming over. This couldn't be Shumo. He then felt something was wrong and looked up at the store next to him. All I saw was this written on it. Meituan Takeaway Tangdong Station. I was fooled. Chen Ku couldn't help but curse angrily, Shumo, you bastard. At this time, it was impossible to chase Shumo again. This was the first time he encountered such a tough opponent like Shumo. Not only super running. Moreover, while running, he even thought of using other delivery guys to confuse his sight and hearing. That's really great. Good trick. Chen Ku then returned to the garden community in great depression, and happened to meet Han Fei and others who were coming downstairs. Where's Shumo? Han Fei glanced at Chen Ku and found that only Chen Ku was there. He immediately understood. Did he let him run away? Yeah. Chen Ku nodded. Yes, he ran away. It shouldn't be like that. Han Fei muttered something. He and Chen Ku knew each other before the program group. Han Fei was quite clear about Chen Ku's physical fitness, otherwise he would not have deliberately left Chen Ku on the first floor to keep an eye on him. He expected that Chen Ku should have caught Shumo by now, but he did not expect that Shumo would escape. I was fooled by that kid. Chen Ku said, admitting his defeat. Han Fei asked professionally, how did you get fooled? As a member of the pursuit team, it is natural to know as much as possible about the target to be captured, including everything he does. Everyone has a different style of doing things, and it is precisely this difference in style that makes it easier to obtain clues when solving a case. Chen Ku then briefly recounted what had just happened. After listening to what he said, Han Fei then realized that this challenger was not only smart, but also a super fast runner. Shinmani couldn't help but chuckle. Shumo is really amazing. He was able to use the surrounding conditions in a short period of time and quickly analyze and choose to play such a trick. It seems that our opponent this time is a bit tricky. I take back my words that I will catch him in half an hour. What about you? Han Fei and Chen Ku didn't speak. However, judging from the expressions on their faces, they obviously understood that Shumo was a troublesome person. Chapter 18. Two poor people are going to ask the program team for some money. After getting rid of Chen Ku, Shumo walked out from the other side of the alley. He threw the Meituan takeout clothes and helmet he was wearing into a trash can in the alley. Before I took a few steps, a mechanical reminder sounded in my head. You disguised yourself as a food delivery boy to trick the investigation team, and caused a microwave explosion to get rid of the investigation team. This operation is being evaluated. Excellent. Calculating rewards. You can choose one of the following for options as a reward. 1. Choose the shoulder-fired rocket launcher RPG plus 10 matching shells. 2. Select expert-level anti-detection capabilities. 3. Choose superb camouflage skills. 4. Choose superb chemistry skills. This is a one-off for bonus option. Just as Shumo thought, in this cat and mouse game, the more perfect the play, the more reward options there are. This was the first time he saw 4 reward options for him to choose from. And the prefix is more advanced. So how to choose? First of all, the shoulder-fired rocket launcher RPG plus 10 matching shells were directly eliminated by Shumo. Joke. Who the hell dares to run around in a big city like Guangzhou with a rocket launcher and RPG on their shoulders? Do you think this is the Middle East? Doing this kind of thing in Guangzhou is tantamount to seeking death, even if this is a variety show. Unless Shumo really wants to be the outlaw Zhang San. Eliminate this option. Then the next choice is simple. In 2 superb and 1 expert level skills. Shumo chose expert level anti-detection capabilities. First of all, expert level abilities are obviously better than advanced level abilities, but he doesn't just blindly choose the ability with the highest prefix, but rather chooses the ability that suits him best at the moment. Shumo is now a fugitive. After what happened just now, the members of the investigation team will obviously not take him lightly anymore. First time I can say that. Shumo took advantage of the information gap and played this trick when the investigation team thought he was just a social animal. Next. The investigation team got to know him. The action certainly won't be as easy as the first time. Therefore, as a fugitive, Shumo needs expert-level anti-detection capabilities to play this game with the pursuit team. The next moment, a large amount of knowledge immediately flooded into his mind and was directly engraved on his active brain cells. He immediately felt all kinds of investigative knowledge and methods active in his mind. This feeling seems to be innate. It's amazing. Then, Shumo noticed the surveillance cameras on the street without having to look for them deliberately. There are 3 in total. Interesting. That's really interesting. This made Shumo feel more interested in playing this cat and mouse game. If it weren't for the existence of this game, he would have quit the program when he first discovered the production team. At the same time, Shumo is such an idiot. He should have run away earlier, but he didn't. It's a pity that I fought so hard for this opportunity. He only appeared a few times and the show was finished. I'm so angry. Yang Jingxian is also near the snack street. In her opinion, she was really worried. As a hostage, he actually started to worry about Shumo, their kidnapper. This is really funny. I'm so hungry, let's find something to eat. For this show, Yang Jingxian was trapped in the trunk of the car for several hours and had not eaten dinner. She touched her clothes and found that she had no money. At this time, the cell phone rang. It is the mobile phone assigned by the program team. Yang Jingxian picked up the phone. Hello. You there? Shumo's voice came from the microphone. Huh. Yang Jingxian was stunned when she heard it. The investigation team hasn't come to find you yet. In her opinion, if the investigation team went to look for Shumo, the latter would have been arrested long ago and would not have had the chance to call her. What do you think? Shumo said with a faint smile. Yang Jingxian felt something was wrong. It had been such a long time, it was impossible for the investigation team not to look for Shumo. Unless Shumo escaped from them. Yang Jingxian couldn't believe this guess. But this is the only way to explain why Shumo still called her. This Shumo is a little bit complicated. Yang Jingxian suddenly became excited. On the surface, she was a hostage kidnapped by Shumo and had a miniature camera on her body. To put it bluntly, she was Shumo's photographer. So the more powerful Shumo performed, the better it would be for her. Not long. Yang Jingxian saw Shumo. He really ran away. Speculations aside, when Yang Jingxian actually saw Shumo coming, she couldn't help but be surprised. She knew the origins of those guys in the investigation team, but she didn't expect Shumo to actually get out. Isn't he this guy too fierce? Everyone is standing in front of you, what do you think? Shumo said simply. Yang Jingxian surrounded him and looked at him in amazement. Why are you looking at me like that? Yang Jingxian pursed her lips and said, I feel like I need to get to know you, the kidnapper, again. Har har. Shumo smiled, and understood the arrangement of the program team, and said with a smile, then I, a big kidnapper, am going to kill you, can I kill you? How? My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's even more exciting later. Of course Yang Jingxian knew it was fake and kept asking questions. Put a piece of paper on your head with dead person written on it and tell the production team that I killed you and we won't be bringing you along anymore. Shumo said with a relaxed smile. Before, he might have felt pressured facing the popular young actress Yang Jingxian. But now. Sorry, after Shumo's miraculous transformation, he naturally wanted to treat Yang Jingxian specially. I won't do that. Yang Jingxian shook her head. At least let me live a little longer. I can't stand it if I get killed right away. Speaking of which. Jiu. Yang Jingxian's stomach made a noise. Didn't you eat? Shumo naturally heard it. Yang Jingxian nodded. You ordered takeout. I didn't even have a sip of water the whole night, let alone a meal. I only took a bite of the takeaway, and it wasn't very tasty. Shumo said. After such intense exercise for a while and the changes in his body, he did feel hungry. Then I randomly found a Chaoju handmade beef bowl shop and walked in. How much money do you have on you? Shumo asked Yang Jingxian. When Yang Jingxian heard this, she replied in a bad tone, You're not going to tell me you don't have any money, are you? I only have $15 on me. Shumo said. No way. Yang Jingxian heard it and quickly lowered her head to look at the menu. Beef bowl rice noodles, 18 pieces. Pork offal noodles, 16 yuan. Fried beef noodles, 17 yuan. The more I looked at her, the hungrier I felt, and the more speechless I felt. Where's your phone? Can't you pay with WeChat? You're stupid. My phone must have been located by the tracking team at this time. Once I pay, they will know my location. Shumo, who had a lot of anti-detection knowledge in his head, immediately retorted, You can't pay with my phone. What about you? Don't you have a phone? This phone was allocated to me by the program team. I don't have any money for it. Yang Jingxian replied helplessly. Then I can only ask the boss if I can order 2 bowls of noodles without anything added. Shumo quickly called the boss. The boss said it was no problem. Yang Jingxian then muttered, I want to eat beef balls. Shumo pretended not to hear. But as luck would have it, the whole store was filled with the aroma of beef. Yang Jingshuan's stomach growled, and she risked everything to eat. Brother Shumo, I want to eat beef balls. Shumo continued to pretend he didn't hear. Yang Jingxian shook Shumo's arm. Beef balls. Do you really want to eat beef balls? Shumo replied. Yang Jingxian nodded, yes. Then let's borrow some money from the program crew. Shumo said with a smile. Yang Jingxian really thought it was a loan, and said, can I borrow money from the program crew? You'll know soon. Shumo didn't say much. This made Yang Jingxian feel a little curious. Chapter 19. Am I worth 1 million? No, it has to be at least 5 million. Soon. 2 bowls of noodle soup were brought up. The boss felt sorry for Shumo and Yang Jingxian, so he gave each of them a few beef balls and even said to Shumo, young man, I see your girlfriend is so pretty, and she is willing to endure hardships with you. That's great, keep up the good work, everyone has bad days. After saying that, he put down 2 bowls of noodles and left. Only Shumo and Yang Jingxian were left staring at each other. Shumo. Yang Jingxian. The latter shouted, hey, boss, I'm not his girlfriend. But the boss can't hear me anymore. The two of them then chatted while slurping noodles. Seriously, how are you going to borrow money from the show? The key to how to borrow money lies with you. Hey, aren't you here to borrow money? Wait. Is this the right way to borrow money? Are you up to something bad? So you think I really want to borrow money from the production team? I was so naive. I thought you were just borrowing money. Tell me, what are you going to do? It's very simple. What is my current identity? What is your current identity? Shumo asked. Isn't it obvious? You are the kidnapper and I am the hostage. That's right. I'll use your phone to call the investigation team and ask them to hand over the money and the person. Ask them to prepare 1 million to redeem you, otherwise you will be killed. Yang Jingxian said with shame, I am only worth 1 million. What do you think? You are such a loser. Have you ever heard of someone making 208 yuan a day? Yes. That's it, I think I should be worth at least 3 million, right? No, it should be 5 million, no, it should be 10 million. Yang Jingxian said while biting her chopsticks. 10 million is too much. I can't take it. Then I will tell the investigation team to prepare 5 million. Otherwise, I will kill you. Brother Shumo, can you please stop beating me to death at every turn? I still want to live longer. Yang Jingxian said. Shumo smiled and said, if you don't say that, how can you appear professional? So you're going to fight the investigation team head on. Can you beat them? It depends on the plan. What are you going to plan? In one word, lie. Cheat. Yang Jingxian tilted her head, not being able to think of how Shumo would cheat, and asked, how? It's too complicated. You won't understand even if I tell you. Are you calling me stupid? I didn't say that, you said it yourself. Humph, if you get caught, my schedule will be wasted. The two were chatting halfway when Shumo suddenly asked, why are you sticking your chopsticks into my bowl? I'm not full, give me your beef balls. It's funny. You're not full, but you make it sound like I'm full. Shumo picked up the bowl and finished it in a few sips. Yang Jingxian rolled her eyes, stingy. Another while passed. Shumo and Yang Jingxian had already walked out of the Chaoju handmade beef balls shop. Give me your phone. Shumo said to Yang Jingxian. Yang Jingxian handed him the mobile phone assigned by the program team. Operation Sky Eye Live Broadcast Channel 2. The members of the investigation team were mobilizing surveillance cameras near the garden community and the snack street. Suddenly, the cell phone assigned to Hanfei by the program team rang. The program crew's phone number. Shinmani, who was standing next to her, asked when she heard the ringtone. The same goes for them. The mobile phones carried by the tracking team were all distributed by the program team. They only contained contact information of the tracking team members and the program team, as well as some simple software. Hanfei nodded, answered the phone, and asked, what's the matter? Captain Han, Shumo called the production team to extort money. What? Hanfei couldn't believe his ears when he heard that. He never expected that Shumo would run away just like that. If it were any other criminal, they would have wanted to run away as far as possible and would not have any contact with the investigation team if possible. As a result, this guy not only did not do so, but also made a blackmail call to the program crew. How audacious! He doesn't know how high the sky is and how deep the earth is. Do you really think that if you can run once, you can run a second time? Do you really think their investigation team is just there to do nothing? Han Fei looked a little unhappy and asked, how much did he extort? The program team is negotiating with him. Captain Han, would you like to come over? The program team responded. Okay. Han Fei responded, then hung up the call and said to Shen Manny, you and I will go to the program group. Li Chen, you and Chen Ku will continue to stay here and investigate the nearby surveillance. After finding Shumo's trace, immediately notify our trainee police officers and make sure to catch him. What's up with the show? Hearing his words, Chen Ku couldn't help but ask. At this critical juncture, the program team asked Han Fei to go over. There must be something big going on. As expected. The next second, he heard Han Fei's words. Shumo made a blackmail call to the production team. What? This guy actually dared to make a blackmail call. I've seen crazy people, but I've never seen anyone this crazy. In an instant, the other three members of the investigation team reacted differently. Obviously, they did not expect that Shumo would actually make a blackmail call to the program crew. Li Chen felt humiliated. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. Chen Ku was a little surprised. As for Shen Manny, she was stunned for a moment after hearing this, and then chuckled, interesting, is this the first time that the Sky Eye Operation program team has been blackmailed by a challenger since the show started? This Shumo seems very confident. Not only the investigation team were surprised. Sky Eye Operation Live Broadcast Channel 2. This is a live broadcast room from the perspective of the pursuit team. Among them, there are many fans of the tracking team who have not yet switched to Channel 1. So when they heard that the program crew was blackmailed, they were all extremely surprised and curious. Har 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 har, this Shumo is really amazing. He actually dared to blackmail the program crew. You know how to have fun. You really know how to have fun. If I were Shumo, wouldn't it be nice to find a place to hide? If I don't get caught for a day, I can get 100,000 yuan. The longer I escape, the more money I can get. If he does this, even if he extorts money, if he gets caught, the money won't be his. You know nothing. Others want to have a big game. Well, I really don't understand, but I know Shumo will definitely get himself into trouble. Just wait and see. My Li Chen will be able to catch Shumo soon. Whether Shumo is caught or not, I find it interesting that he dares to play like this. This is much more interesting than the previous 2 episodes. That's right. I'll go to the first room and see how Shumo blackmails people. I'm going too. Soon, viewers from live streaming channel 2 flocked to live streaming channel 1. Not just them. Someone posted a message on Weibo saying that the Operation Sky Eye program team was blackmailed by the challenger. This Weibo post attracted many people to come and watch. The number of people watching the live broadcast platform of Operation Sky Eye has soared again. As soon as these people came in, they started posting comments. I came to watch Operation Sky Eye and was blackmailed by the kidnappers. Har har har, me too. I watched the first 2 episodes and the challengers were so boring. I didn't expect this episode to be so exciting. Who is this Shumo? Why is he so awesome? The production crew certainly didn't expect that they would be blackmailed one day. It made me laugh to death. As for the program crew, they really didn't expect that they would be blackmailed while making a legal education program. The live broadcast room of Channel 1 had long been replaced with the camera from the program crew. The explosive points created by Shumo are one after another, but they are also extremely troublesome. He actually called Lin An'an and the others to blackmail them. This is truly unprecedented. She was negotiating with Shumo on the phone when she heard Shumo's voice coming from the phone. Chapter 20, Oh my goodness, the program team was blackmailed for the first time. I am very satisfied with the way your program, Operation Sky Eye, promotes the rule of law to the society. But I just happened to be chosen as the partner, and I am very dissatisfied. I want you to compensate me for my mental damages. Shumo's unquestionable voice came. Inside the program group, Lin An'an explained the situation to Shumo in a tearful manner. Mr. Shu, you don't have to worry about that. From the time you were selected to participate in the program, you started to flee. As long as you are not caught by the tracking team, the longer the time, the higher the compensation you will receive. For this reason, there is no need for you to take risks. Stop talking nonsense. Shumo interrupted her. Don't talk nonsense to me. Listen to me within 3 minutes. Otherwise, I can't guarantee that Yang Jingxian will not be hurt. As for whether to do it or not, it's up to you to decide. Prepare 10 million renminbi for me. What? Lin An'an exclaimed. This is not compensation for mental damage at all. This is clearly extortion. Bro, could you please stop speaking in such an artistic way? When the fans of the live broadcast investigation team heard about the 10 million renminbi investment, they instantly lost their composure. Hiss, are you sure the production team is looking for ordinary people to participate? Isn't this some big brother who just came out? 666. 10 million is enough to live a carefree life for the rest of my life. Mama asked me why I was kneeling to watch the live broadcast, and I said that my legs suddenly became weak for no apparent reason. Yang Jingxuan's eyes were filled with big question marks. Where is the promised 5 million? Shumo, why did you suddenly raise the price? But Yang Jingxian felt more joy in her heart. Snort. She knew that she was definitely worth more than 5 million. This Shumo is quite sensible. Impossible. 10 million is too much. Lin An'an frowned and refused directly. Reject. Rejection also counts as time. Shumo's voice rose by 1 decibel, 3 minutes are almost up. Lin An'an felt very aggrieved and gnashed her teeth and said, please continue. Shumo smiled and continued. Please deposit 5 million into the bank, and I want the other 5 million in cash. Put it in a black travel bag and pack it tightly. Remember not to play any tricks on me. Before 8 o'clock tomorrow night, I want the money on my card and the cash on my person. As for the cash, take it to the Wonder Plaza next to the Ershian Bridge on Yancheng Avenue and put it there. At the same time, Shinmani and the others rushed to the program crew. I just happened to hear Shumo's request. At this time, Lin An'an cast a helpless look at them. Han Fei quickly took the paper and pen on the table and wrote a few words on the white paper. After doing all this, he turned the paper to Lin An'an. It says, delay time. It's hard to raise money. Lin An'an understood, Mr. Shu, 10 million is not a small amount. We can't get it together in a short time. If it doesn't cost money, you can reduce it a little, or you can give us more time. Lin An'an was on speakerphone when she was talking on the phone. Hearing this. On the other side, Han Fei was not idle. He asked other colleagues to lock Shumo's location during the call. Shumo knew very well that Lin An'an was deliberately delaying time. He smiled. Okay, you can't do that, right? You can't do that. Tomorrow, not only will you receive Yang Jingxuan's nude photos, but all netizens around the world will also have the honor of seeing nude photos of female celebrities. R. A high-pitched female scream was heard. It was obvious that the voice came from Yang Jingxian. How does a groundhog call? That is how Yang Jingxian is called. At this time, the female star was very frightened, her face turned pale, and her delicate little face was very pale. Staring at Shumo in disbelief. This bastard. He's actually going to sell her out for 10 million? She now wished she could strangle Shumo to death immediately. Go to hell, you big idiot. And just when she was about to take action, Shumo also hung up the phone earlier. To be precise, it was the moment when Yang Jingxian screamed. There was no way, his eardrums were hurting from the vibration. Asshole Shumo, if you dare to take naked photos of me, I will kill you first. Yang Jingxuan's neck turned red with anger, and she pounced on Shumo with her teeth bared. Calm down. Calm down. Shumo hasn't put down his phone yet. Yang Jingxian wanted to stick to me like an octopus that had lost its mind. Calm down and listen to me first. I won't listen, you bastard. What else is there to say now? You shameless bastard, you want to force me to do that kind of thing, I tell you, forget it. Shumo was a little amused. This is a joke. But she is just a weak woman. How could he be as strong as Shumo? Shumo controlled her rebellious hands in just a few moves. Think about it with your stupid little head. If I don't say it, will they do it? You mean I'm stupid? Yang Jingxian stared at him suspiciously, burning with anger. No. Shumo shook his head. After making sure that she would not do anything wrong again, he let go of her little hand. That's what you understand. You. Yang Jingxian gritted her teeth and put one thing at a time. You can't just let it go by saying she's stupid. Seeing her still wanted to pounce on her again. Shumo said, 10 million. Yang Jingxuan's movements suddenly stopped. Who can resist money? He originally intended to extort 5 million. With the help of Shumo, his worth instantly doubled. Besides, the Guozhou incident was not true. Yang Jingxian snorted softly through her nose. She is not unreasonable. For the money's sake, I reluctantly forgive Shumo. Chapter 21. The team is anxious. On the program team's side, the crowd was watching the live broadcast without knowing the truth. It totally exploded. LSPS were posting comments frantically. I wish I could roll my face over the keyboard. Oh my god. Big brother, dragon people can't cheat dragon people. You have to go all out and stick to your path as promised with the nude photos. Oh my god. I took off my pants, and then snap, all the happiness is gone. Big brother, you don't need the program team to prepare 10 million for you. We, the netizens, will give you gifts galore. We don't ask you to do anything. You just need to fulfill your promise. Hee, Jingxian, my Jingxian nude photo. Yes, we will crowdfund. Crowdfund. These are just there to watch the fun and don't mind making trouble. Most of the netizens are still relatively rational. What Shumo did was extremely bad. There must be severe punishment, otherwise there will be lawlessness. The program is under tremendous pressure from public opinion. After all, they couldn't figure out what Shumo was thinking at the moment. What if Shumo really meant it? So will they continue to do the next show? A bad reputation. The program team can only wait for closure. Meanwhile, on the other side, the mobile phone that the program team specially prepared for Yang Jingxian kept ringing. After all, it's for the sake of fairness. A special signal blocker is installed in the mobile phone. The tracking team was unable to locate it. You don't want to take it. The 10 million hasn't been finalized yet. Yang Jingxian blinked and said in confusion. Shumo was calm and composed, and smiled. The more anxious they are, the better it is for us. But whether it can be successful in the end depends on you, Omega. Look at me. Yang Jingxian pointed at herself. Although she denied it. But after interacting with Shumo for a while, in her heart, she had already accepted that Shumo's brain was more useful than hers. Something that even Shumo couldn't do. How could she possibly do that? Shumo smiled and hooked his finger at her. TSK, you're so secretive, afraid that others will know. Yang Jingxian muttered to herself and leaned towards Shumo very honestly. Shumo whispered something in her ear. After a while, Yang Jingxuan's little face flushed and she became excited. She stretched out her slender, fair hand and patted him. Shumo is really something. You are so mean. Bad. Shumo shrugged and asked back. Yang Jingxian thought about it and nodded solemnly. Well, bad. Very bad. Very bad. Don't like it. If you don't like it, don't play it. Hey, I like it. I like it. Yang Jingxian quickly grabbed him and couldn't help but speak excitedly. Good brother, this is the first time for me to do something like this. But don't worry, it will be absolutely realistic, more realistic than the real thing. After all, this is my job. On the other side, the program meeting group. The atmosphere is very solemn. Lin An'an smiled bitterly and shook her head. He won't answer. As her voice fell, the meeting group fell silent for a moment. Then, very quickly, with a bang, Hanfei slammed the table heavily. Shumo is playing psychological warfare with us. If we don't get through later, we won't be able to confirm Yang Jingxuan's personal safety. Seal off the city and conduct a blanket search, and list Shumo as the real wanted criminal. Extorting 10 million renminbi is enough to put him in jail for life. Everyone's face turned pale. Li Chen suppressed his inner anger, took a deep breath, and said, Captain Han, calm down first. If we dare to do this, Shumo might fight to the death with us. He did something worse than an animal to Yang Jingxian. And upload the real photos to the internet. Even if our network information security department checks and deletes them as quickly as possible, some will slip through the net. The information age brings great benefits. The disadvantages are also great. Just like now. The LSP just saved Yang Jingxuan's nude photos. And this thing spreads from one person to 10, from 10 to 100, and from 100 to 1,000. Endless life, infinite Russian dolls. Can't we arrest everyone who sees it? They haven't committed any crime per se. Everyone looked at the last hope, Shinmani. What do you think, Manny? Hanfei desperately hopes to get some useful information from Shinmani, a leading expert in criminology and psychology. Shinmani frowned and looked at Shumo's basic personal information on the table again and again for a while. Finally, he shook his head helplessly. I can't figure out what Shumo is thinking at this moment. From his personal information, Shumo's life is pretty decent. There's no need for him to become a desperate criminal just for the 10 million. She paused and remembered the note Shumo left in the room when the microwave exploded. He gave an answer that even she found a little unbelievable. Perhaps, that guy just wants to prove that he is several times smarter than all of us here. Listen to her analysis. Li Chen's expression was quite ugly, son of a bitch. Just follow the rules for such a small matter. We are not the ones who can play with him. Now all the cameras installed on Yang Jingxian are gone, and we can't figure out what he wants to do. Hearing this, the host Lin An'an couldn't help but blush. It seemed like no one had said anything to Shumo from the beginning. He was selected by their Operation Sky Eye program team. And tell him the rules of the game. He figured all this out by himself. You can say that. At first, they were the ones who played tricks on others. Even if there is a generous amount of cash as compensation later. But it was embarrassing and socially awkward in front of so many live viewers. When people are extremely angry and humiliated, how can they not behave irrationally? Everyone seemed to be at the same moment. Also realized the problem. The show has not been paused yet. Still continue. A large number of netizens flocked in to watch the show. Barrages of comments were flying everywhere. And they were divided into two camps. One group supports Shumo, and the other group opposes him. Getting angry out of shame is irrational. It's not an excuse to break the law. Song Yishue, who was paying attention to the background data, rubbed her eyebrows. The reason why the program team can continue to broadcast it now. Because Shumo has not yet been judged as the real criminal. Watching more and more people flocking into the program team's live broadcast room. As the program's chief director, Song Yishue was naturally happy. Director Song, it seems like things have gotten out of hand. Should we temporarily stop broadcasting the show? The staff member wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and asked. Song Yishue seemed to be thinking about something, and said calmly, wait a little longer. Seeing this, other staff members continued to stick to their posts. The sky fell down, but there was someone tall to hold it up. They are just wage earners. Rain Girl has nothing to do with it. Quite different from appearing calm. At this time, Song Yishue felt a little nervous and subconsciously bent her fingers together. Buzz. Inside the live broadcast screen. In order to facilitate contact with Yang Jingxian, the mobile phone ringtone customized by the program team rang. Chapter 22, What the hell? This Shumo is such a ruthless person. The phone rang. The expressions of everyone in the conference room were quite interesting. At this time, Hanfei walked over with a dark face. Picked up the phone. Obviously at this time. It's no longer a question of whether or not to continue the show. The ransom amount is 10 million renminbi. Nude photos of female celebrities. No matter which one of them. The impact on society is quite bad. Shumo, release Yang Jingxian immediately. Assume that you never mention the 10 million renminbi. The production team will prepare 200,000 renminbi in compensation to repay you. Remember, don't rely on your luck. If you dare to do something illegal tomorrow, you will not be able to escape. Hanfei tried his best to suppress the rage in his heart and said. After he finished speaking, there was no movement from the other side. Just when everyone thought Shumo was up to something new. His calm voice sounded. Are you teaching me how to do things? Just a few simple words. The damage is not high. Extremely insulting. There is no one here except Hanfei. There are other tracking experts present. A naked provocation. They were full of complaints. But no one dared to say anything. But the live broadcast room is different. The barrage has exploded. Brother is awesome. He is a role model for us. This Shumo is really fearless. He even dared to call back to provoke me. Who gave him the courage? Miss Liang. Brother, surrender, there are only Shinmani outside. Har ha har har, it's so funny that a kidnapper like you actually blackmailed the police. I'm afraid you don't even know how to write the word death. Are you sure Shumo isn't here to be a clown? 666 Big Brother is invincible plus. Han Fei was confused. He took a deep breath and asked, "What do you want?" The initiative lies with Shumo. He had to give in. Shumo smiled and said, "I know you are all on the phone, just listen. But I don't like talking to you. Give the phone to the girl who answered the phone before." Han Fei's eyelids twitched. I was afraid that Shumo would have other extreme reactions. He has no choice. The phone was handed to Lin An'an. "It's me, Lin An'an." "Well, my ears feel much better." Lin An'an's face turned slightly red. I never expected that as a show host, there would come a day when I would be teased by a challenger. Without waiting for her to say anything more, Shumo's voice came again. 10 million RMB. Do as I said before. Lin An'an's face was full of bitterness. This was not something that a small host like her could decide. "I'm sorry, Mr. Shu. I can't make the decision on this matter." Har har, can't make the decision. Yes. Things have come to this. Lin An'an could only reply reluctantly. 10 million is really too much. Moreover, they all had a lucky mentality, thinking that nothing would happen to Shumo. At the same time, tear. There was a sound of clothes being torn, accompanied by Yang Jingxuan's terrified screams. "R. Shumo, you are not a human, you are perverted little trash, you have no strength. You can't afford to play. It's all arranged by the production team. Woo, if you can, go and deal with them. Shut up. If you dare to say another word, I'll stuff something in your mouth." Shumo was really angry. "Good job. Are you possessed by the movie queen?" "I'm addicted to filming." Shumo admitted that there was nothing wrong with the lines Yang Jingxian came up with on the spur of the moment, as well as the tone of expression. Too much talk will lead to mistakes. Talking less is less likely to arouse suspicion. My patience has its limits. Shumo's angry voice rang out. Beep beep beep. Immediately afterwards, without waiting for Lin An'an to speak, he hung up the phone. Brother, you are not really angry, are you?" Seeing Shumo's dark face, Yang Jingxian said in a coquettish tone. "The blackmail plan may be ruined." Shumo raised his eyebrows and said. Yang Jingxuan's face changed drastically. Shumo, didn't you say you were sure? I don't want to run away with you every day in the future. When I'm hungry, I'll go to the trash can. What a mess." Shumo looked surprised. Yang Jingxian pouted her chubby little mouth and counted on her fingers, a joke. He. Who do you think is at fault in this matter? It's time to settle the accounts. Shumo looked at her with a smile. Yang Jingxian was startled and took a step back in panic, putting some distance between herself and Shumo. "I don't think there is anything wrong with my acting. I think you really don't understand." Shumo shook his head. Yang Jingxian was unhappy, and she held her head high and chest out, like a proud white swan. "You don't understand. After all, I was nominated for the Best Actress Award at the Golden Horse Awards last year. You're in the running." Shumo didn't pay much attention to these. Facing Shumo's questioning, Yang Jingxuan's eyes were vague, her old face turned red, and she spoke hesitantly. No. You deserve it." Shumo gloated. Yang Jingxian just felt very aggrieved. It turns out that women's biggest enemy is dogs. She is going to fight with Shumo. Har, do you dare to give it a try? I'll shut your mouth. My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's even more exciting later. Before, it was exposed because you added too much drama. Yang Jingxian became cowardly and said with tears in her eyes. Then, what should we do now? Shumo shrugged, what else can I do? Just wait. Meanwhile, on the other side, the netizens who were watching the live broadcast were going crazy. Fuck. This Shumo is such a ruthless guy. How dare he tear Yang Jingxuan's clothes off? It's great that they don't treat us as outsiders. I am guilty. I want to give my brother a pair of scissors. Pilot applies to join the cabin. You guys are still in the mood to talk about this. Things have gotten out of hand, don't you understand? This Shumo is going to be finished. Please pause the show. Hurry up and issue a wanted order. That guy has become a real criminal. They don't have Shumo's perspective. The vast majority of people believe that Yang Jingxian was murdered. Let the investigation team and the public security department take action quickly. Bring Shumo to justice. The meeting room is here. Hear Yang Jingxian's helpless plea. Everyone was angry. How can this be considered tearing Yang Jingxuan's clothes? This is clearly a slap in their face. In front of these tracking experts, he broke the law knowingly and acted arrogantly. You son of a bitch! You'll be dead if I catch you. Chen Ku cursed. His hands were clenched so tightly that there was a crackling sound of bones. Han Fei and others looked very unhappy. I'm afraid this show can't continue to be broadcast. One more second of delay. Yang Jingxian is in more danger. Shumo didn't give them any chance to ask tricks and delay time. Prepare to send a message to headquarters and change Shumo's arrest warrant to a real one. Han Fei took a deep breath and said. Shenmani frowned slightly, as if thinking about something, but she did not object. The other side. Song Yishue curved her eyebrows and clasped her arms. Staring at the live broadcast on the big screen, he was lost in thought. There is no tension here like in the production team's meeting room. Some are just relatively quiet. Therefore, Song Yishue can think and analyze problems calmly. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that there must be some information that was easy to overlook. All this information needs is a thread to connect them. The police department asked us to suspend the live broadcast of the program immediately. A female secretary in a black OL uniform hurried over and said. Song Yishue was like a madman, her sexy lips murmured, there must be a line that can connect them. The female secretary thought Song Yishue didn't hear it, so she repeated it again. Boss, the live show is going to be suspended. Live broadcast, live broadcast. Suddenly, Song Yishue seemed to have grasped the key point of the matter. Yes, it's live broadcast. Play back the live broadcast of Shumo's last phone call. Chapter 23. Don't talk nonsense to me, I just want to make money now. Play back the live broadcast of Shumo's last phone call. Inside the room, Song Yishue's urgent voice was heard. The staff immediately complied. Calls up the previous screen. Song Yishue's eyes were as sharp as a torch. Don't want to miss every frame and every second. According to Song Yishue's request. Play the first pass at twice the speed. She frowned and asked someone to slow down the speed to 1.5 times. You can choose to skip the previous ransom details. The key lies in the second half. After a while, Song Yishue really discovered something fishy. Only the last third of the picture is retained. Adjust the playback speed to normal. Continue listening to the audio inside. Song Yishue analyzed calmly. Her biggest benefit here. That no one can disturb her. Thought about it for a while again. Song Yishue's attention was focused on the scene where Shumo was tearing his clothes. No picture, only sound. It's definitely impossible to tell what's going on. Yang Jingxuan's scream was very natural. The response was also spot on. But keep thinking deeper. Actually, it is not. Analyze from Shumo's perspective. He really wanted to blackmail the program team and openly challenge the police authority. Why would Yang Jingxian talk so much nonsense? There are too many suspicious points. Put yourself in their shoes. Suppose that Song Yishue was really kidnapped by kidnappers. There is a risk of being killed at any time. I definitely wouldn't dare to do that when the kidnappers are kidnapping. Talk too much nonsense. After all, there can be some suggestive words hidden in the words. So that the police can follow the clues. Narrow it down. Or they are sure they are the kidnappers but dare not take action. Directly reveal the location. Let the police act quickly and cordon off that place. And all of the above. No clues were found in Yang Jingxuan's words. Song Yishue felt that Yang Jingxian was just playing for fun. No matter how realistic the tone is, it's okay to be submissive. Nothing can change the nature of playing. Analyze based on the signs Shumo showed previously. Microwave explosion. No one was hurt. It was just to tease and fool the tracking team. Song Ishua, who was not led by the rhythm, raised the corners of her mouth in a charming arc. Good for you, Shumo. Convince all the female celebrities that the production team prepared for you to cooperate with you in acting. It's not easy. Everyone subconsciously thought that Yang Jingxian was from the program team. I will never betray the program team no matter what. But they fell into a misunderstanding from the very beginning. When a goddess sees a handsome guy, she will also be attracted by him and change jobs. Song Ishua waved her hand and asked the female secretary to bring the program team's spare mobile phone. The number was dialed. Meanwhile, on the other side. Buzz buzz. The phone on the table vibrates. After Yang Jingxian knew that the 10 million yuan plan had failed. He had a bitter face. He huddled to one side with his hands around his legs. I saw Shumo didn't he answer the phone? She reminded him with a dull look. Shumo's phone rang. Yes, I'm not deaf. Shumo was busy thinking of other plans to make money. They dared to call. Proof that the blackmail plan failed. But I think so. Just the two lines where Yang Jingxian, that big pig teammate, added drama to herself. After a while, even a fool could guess it was fake. It's just a matter of time. A reaction that is 5 minutes faster or 5 minutes slower. Lies will eventually be exposed. But Shumo didn't care. The cell phone rang again. Yang Jingxian wrinkled her nose and got up impatiently. I want to turn off that annoying phone ringing. Just when she was about to hang up, he glanced at the caller ID. The name displayed prominently was Song Ishua's. Yang Jingxian looked puzzled and muttered, "Why did the chief director call me?" Her words caught Shumo's attention. "Don't hang up yet. Who did you say called?" "Chief Director Song Ishua." Yang Jingxian replied subconsciously. "Good job. It's not from the program host Lin An'an. But then again, there's something about this director's name. The naming alone is very artistic. For the name, Shumo just wanted to talk to her. Just to kill time. He held out his hand, "Give me the phone." Yang Jingxian didn't know what Shumo was trying to do. But she still did as she was told. The call is connected. A seductive royal sister's voice sounded in my ears. "Hello? Are you Shumo?" "I am." Shumo smiled. A crude blackmail tactic. Song Ishua complained. Shumo shrugged, "The female celebrity you prepared for me has a hole in her brain. If you want to play tricks on me next time, please change to someone smarter." Hearing this, Yang Jingxian glared at Shumo. This bastard called her stupid again. She bared her teeth and claws and wanted to rush forward. Shumo extended an index finger towards her. Yang Jingxian understood what he meant and gradually lost her temper. The extortion amount could have been 10 million renminbi. It seems like she messed up. It seems there's nothing wrong with saying she's stupid. Did you call to chat with me? Shumo smiled and joked. Do you think I'm that boring? Song Ishua said speechlessly. Shumo, okay, let's make it short. I'll hang up now. Song Ishua, you don't want to be a real criminal, right? Shumo, nonsense, am I sick? Who likes to commit crimes? I have to thank your production team for becoming a criminal. Song Ishua, we were not thoughtful enough in arranging the program. I sincerely apologize to you here. You will not face a real wanted list. I promise you this. And I will give you 300,000 cash as compensation. Slapped you. I'll give you another date. Make you forget the fact that you were beaten? There is no such good thing. Shumo, too little. Song Ishua was stunned for a moment, and her beautiful fox eyes narrowed slightly. How much do you want? 10 million. Song Ishua was stunned. As the program director, none of them earn as much as Shumo in a day. Song Ishua, impossible. Shumo, it's impossible, just hang up the phone, don't talk nonsense to me, I just want to make money now. At this time, the program team has not been completely shut down. Song Ishua's eyes fell on the number of viewers in the background of the live broadcast room. It has skyrocketed to more than 30 million people. Just when Shumo was about to hang up the phone, Song Ishua's decisive voice rang out. The program team can give you 10 million renminbi. Chapter 24, I want the first blood of your program group. The program team can give you 10 million renminbi. Hear this. Shumo was no longer sleepy. What are the conditions? The brain is working at a rapid speed. He immediately heard the trick in Song Yishua's words. You can give. It does not mean giving directly. Song Yishua also likes to deal with smart people. This 10 million renminbi will be used in accordance with your extortion demands. How much you can get out of the hands of the investigation team will depend on your ability. Of course, if you can take it all, the 10 million renminbi will be your personal property. The program team will not pursue any of it. Shumo's eyes lit up and he thought it was interesting. Tell your legal team to prepare the contract in advance. I'm afraid you won't be able to afford it when the time comes. Song Yishua sneered, you seem very confident. It's better to be prepared. Shumo said with a smile. Song Yishua, okay, do as you say. You can't escape without getting a penny. I agree to your request, but I also have a small request. Shumo thought about it and decided to let her speak first. You say. Song Yishua, the program team needs to install a camera on Yang Jingxian. This is for the criminal's perspective. If you commit outstanding criminal acts during this period, it can serve as a warning to the society. As a preventive example, the investigation team can't see your live broadcast. The show goes on. Shumo thought about it and smiled. Okay, I'll tell you the location later, and you can have someone come over to install it. The program team wants traffic. What does Shumo want? Money? No. No, what he wanted was to play tricks on the production team, to vent his anger, and to feel the thrill. And the ultimate rewards after the excitement. Everyone has their own needs. On the other end of the phone, Song Yishua also curled up her lips into a smile. I don't mean anything else. I just want to see what means you will use to take the money. 10 million is a big deal for the program team. It's a considerable amount of money. But Shumo really has the ability to take it away. Spent 10 million renminbi to advertise the program. In exchange for huge traffic. It's a profit no matter how you calculate it. A guaranteed profit. Besides, whether Shumo can take it away is still a big question. Har har har. I didn't take it away. You brought it here yourself. Shumo said with a smile. Song Yishua was puzzled, why do you say that? Ask yourself, didn't Song Yishua give away first blood? I want the first blood of your production team. Beep beep beep. Shumo hung up the phone. Song Yishua stood there in a daze. I was stunned for a moment. Only then did she react. Understand Shumo's bad taste. You sound quite arrogant. Song Yishua's cheeks flushed slightly, then I'll wait and see. Next. She asked someone to call the investigation team. Clear up the misunderstanding. In fact, Song Yishua saw through Shumo's scam. And when talking to Shumo, Shinmani has already discovered something fishy. It's just because of the situation. They had to act quickly. Give an explanation to the general public. On the other side, a staff member from the director's office called. Explain things clearly. Shumo's wanted warrant, which had not yet been drafted, was revoked. It was naturally undone. Misunderstanding cleared. It was a false alarm. Live broadcast inside the lake at this moment. Investigation team meeting room. Everyone's face turned pale. It's not like no one noticed there was a problem. Even if I knew there was a problem at the time. But it's no use. The audience in the live broadcast room were intentionally leading the pace. Alarm the superiors. People from above put pressure on them. They had to arrest Shumo as soon as possible. Knowing is one thing. Whether it can be done is another matter. The live broadcast continues at this time. Live broadcast from the perspective of the tracking team. Even a passerby like me can see that there is something wrong with Yang Jingxian. How can you not see it? This is so disappointing. Oh my god. Where did this traitor come from? He is just attracting trouble, right? You were the ones who called for arrests just now, and now you are the ones who say it's okay after the fact. If you are so awesome, why don't you go to heaven? Oh my god. The production team is really willing to spend money. They just gave 10 million renminbi. If the investigation team is not strong enough, the money will be the big brothers. Please, fake fan, get out of the live broadcast room, thank you. I am now looking forward to how Shumo will get the money. It can't be taken away. The investigation team is not here to eat and do nothing. Inside the conference room. Being fooled by Shumo. This made everyone look ugly. It hasn't even started yet, but from Shumo's tone, it sounds like the 10 million has already been secured. Han Fei frowned. Shinmani smiled. I don't know where that guy gets his confidence from. Thinking of this, Shinmani smiled and said, Shumo really piqued my interest. His interesting. As she spoke, she licked her lips, which were painted with brick red lipstick. If we say that before she just had an entertaining attitude. Well, it's different now. This guy is the biggest troublemaker in the program's 3 series. Then she heard Li Chen thoughtfully asked, why did Shumo divide the money into 2 batches, 5 million to punch in, and the other 500 in cash? Shinmani took over the topic and said, it's very simple. It's to confuse people. That guy asked us to deposit 5 million into our bank card and put another 5 million in cash into our travel bag. Obviously, only one of the two is what Shumo wants. Do you think he wants the bank card or the cash? Shinmani looked at the others. How could an old fox like Han Fei not understand? He thought of it when Shumo made the request without Shinmani saying it, and he just heard her say. Shumo may not necessarily use the bank card. If he does use the money in it, the bank will have a record. We can quickly arrest him based on the location and surrounding surveillance equipment. So, his purpose is more likely to be cash. Of course, if we can think of such a simple idea, he can definitely guess it. So, true and false, false and true. We still need to pay attention to the bank, lest he take advantage of the situation. Also, let's focus on the cash. The 5 million in cash is the key. He will come to get it, and what we need to consider is how to deploy police officers to surround him and capture him. Everyone in the conference room has special skills. As long as the layout is right tonight. Shumo couldn't escape even if he had wings. Provocation again and again. It makes their endurance limit almost equal to 0. Everyone couldn't wait to catch Shumo. Han Fei continued to think. Shumo chose the Wonder Plaza next to the Erskian Bridge on Yancheng Avenue. Besides the fact that there were many people to hide his presence, was there any deeper purpose? Everyone couldn't help but frown. Started to ponder. It is indeed easier to get things done with more people. They looked at the map again. And I checked online to see what facilities there were around there. How is the traffic distribution? In addition to getting a reason to have more people. I can't think of any other reason why Shumo had this. Chen Ku narrowed his eyes. Captain Han, I think Shumo deliberately chose a place with a lot of people. Because he is confident that he can escape from us. Others also agreed. Shinmani couldn't understand. Why is Shumo so ordinary yet so confident? Is it that the world has changed, or are there more ordinary men? Do you really think that their investigation team is just there to do nothing? No one is stupid. On the contrary, people who treat others as fools. I am the real fool. Hearing Chen Ku's analysis. Everyone's faces suddenly turned dark again. If we don't catch the arrogant Shumo tonight. They are too embarrassed to continue staying in the circle. It is inevitable to be laughed at by peers. They still have to have some shame. Meanwhile, on the other side. After Shumo revealed his location. Soon a female staff member came up. A pinhole camera was installed on Yang Jingxian. After doing all this, the female staff member did not stay for long and left directly. After a while, the kidnapper's live broadcast perspective screen lights up again. Chapter 25, Stop Pretending, I know you are watching the live broadcast. The kidnapper's live broadcast perspective screen lights up again. The screen, which had been dark all along, finally got the long-lost light. Friends who are still hanging in there. He was stunned for a moment, then his face rolled on the keyboard and he kept scrolling through the comments. What the hell? Why did it suddenly light up? Is there anyone big enough to come out and explain it? Brother, you have always stayed in Big Brother's live broadcast room and never left. You are a die-hard fan. You don't know that the program team has already resolved the misunderstanding. It seems that the program director Sung Ishua has reached some kind of deal with Shumo. What a die-hard fan, don't be fooled by him. He is Liang Jichao from our dormitory, and I am his roommate. His nickname is LSP. Not long ago, he heard the news that Yang Jingxuan's clothes were torn by Shumo, and then he moved into the live broadcast room. He even skipped the afternoon class and waited for the live broadcast to resume. Oh my god. This guy is really talented. Ask him if he got any important news. I have a friend who I want to borrow to talk to. Finally connected with Big Brother online, it wasn't easy. Woo woo. Big Brother, you are so shameless. I thought you were serious. You took off your pants and bought popcorn. Brother, what are you doing eating popcorn? Even the best popcorn flowers are not as good as you. This pinhole camera. It was installed on the collar of Yang Jingxuan's coat. In addition, she held a pen in her hand, biting it in her red-lipped and white-toothed mouth, and her eyes were fixed on the back of the hot man in front of her. The figure appeared in the live broadcast screen, and it seemed that the environment was in a cafe. Looked around for a while. He raised his hand and waved. Do you want to learn how to get 5 times a day? The viewers in the live broadcast room were stunned. Then the barrage of comments kept scrolling think. As if knowing what the viewers were commenting on, a message came from the live broadcast room. He smiled. You're dreaming. The netizens were stunned again. They didn't expect that the Big Brother would play tricks on them as well. There were protests of dissatisfaction. This figure couldn't see the barrage, and even if he didn't want to pay attention to it. And at this moment, a deep and magnetic voice came from the live broadcast room. It was Shumo's voice. Don't pretend. I know you are watching the live broadcast. Song Yishue in the director's office was stunned. The other staff members nearby wanted to laugh but didn't dare to laugh out loud. She frowned and kept her eyes on the screen. Do you want to know how I can take the 10 million renminbi you sent me? Then don't blink next time. Don't let go of any details easily, otherwise your program's money will disappear without a trace. Provocative. A naked provocation. Shumo did it directly in front of the audience watching the live broadcast. Openly provoking Song Yishue, the chief director. As if he was afraid that others didn't know what he was going to do next. I also specifically urged everyone who was watching. Keep your eyes open and watch carefully what happens next. Damn, brother is so awesome. Har har. Shumo is boastful. Who can't do that? Don't think you are something just because you fooled the members of the investigation team a few times. They haven't used their full strength yet. If you have the guts, confront them head on tonight. When you are caught, I hope you can still laugh. Brother, let's not take the money. We should live one day at a time. I don't want to see the show end in a hurry. During the years when I was on the run with the female stars, I still needed inspiration from you guys. I'll go to the front. There's no books in the store. Got it. Because of Shumo's overconfident words. This caused disgust among everyone in the director's room. This Shumo seems a little ignorant. Has no one told him the true strength of the tracking team? Humph, that's right. I just got luckier the last few times, why are you showing off? You don't need him to tell you. We have equipment here that can replay live videos at will. Don't treat people like fools. Song Yishue's brows revealed a strong interest. I'm not going home for dinner. Just ask someone to deliver the takeaway. She is not leaving. She wanted to stay and see for herself Shumo's so-called method of committing the crime. How awesome. Is it just as Shumo said? It's just a facade and nothing more than nice words. Soon it was evening. Night falls. The city of Guangzhou has officially entered a colorful nightlife. The tall buildings lit up with colorful lights, the streets were bustling with people coming and going. There is a constant flow of vehicles. It's very lively. And this corner of the bustling city. A tight arrest operation is underway. Wonder Plaza next to Erskian Bridge on Yancheng Avenue. More than a dozen police officers were in plain clothes. Blending in with the pedestrians. People were deployed from all directions. A human-shaped cage was formed in this small area. Some even stood on tall buildings with telescopes to observe the situation on the ground. Because today is the weekend. The flow of people has increased several times compared to usual. Did you spot any suspicious people? The intercom voice rang out. Report. Group A found nothing. Report. Team B did not find any suspected target person. Report. Group D found nothing. Report. Confirm that there are no problems. Han Fei raised his wrist and looked at the time. It's almost 8 o'clock. There has been no sighting of Shumo's whereabouts. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. Han Fei felt something was wrong. To be honest, more than a dozen police officers were involved in the arrest operation. Dozens of eyes are staring at me. There are even people helping to watch over the tall buildings. No disturbance can escape their eyes. How was it possible that Shumo's figure was not noticed? Unless this guy is a ghost. Otherwise, as long as it's a person, what you do will definitely leave clues. Li Chen, who was following next to him, couldn't help but ask. Captain Han, do you think Shumo doesn't dare to come? Hearing this, Han Fei shook his head. That guy even dared to play tricks on us. He was just bragging too much. It's just as well that he didn't come. He's the one who's embarrassed. But I think Shumo will most likely come. Be alert. He must know that we have someone watching us. He will either not come or reach his goal as soon as he comes. If he doesn't come, this is just a gimmick. His real goal is that bank card. Is he keeping an eye on the bank card? Li Chen replied, the money has been transferred to Shumo's bank card. The technicians are watching it. As long as there is any movement on the card, we will immediately know where Shumo is. Very good. After hearing this, Han Fei returned his gaze to the black travel bag on the trash can. Not far away, the same thing happened to Shinmani and Chen Ku. Everyone at the scene turned their eyes to the trash can. This is a great view location. There are no obstructing buildings around. A bulging black travel bag filled with $5 million bills. Right above the trash can. Shumo is not a magician. It's impossible to make something disappear out of thin air. Even if you have that ability. Distance is also an obstacle. At this moment, everyone at the scene held their breath, staring over there nervously. Anyone near the dumpster, they will all notice it. It's 8 o'clock in the evening. Everyone's heart was in their throat. Not only that, the comments from netizens in the live broadcast room of the investigation team have decreased. They were also watching this place intently. I want to see where Shumo will appear from. Time passed by every second. I don't know if I'm too focused. The speed at which time passes is just like that. I don't feel anything. But at this moment everyone felt that time was passing very slowly. Suffering. 8 o'clock 1, 8 o'clock 2, 8 o'clock 3. Shumo still did not appear. Psychological warfare? Wait until they relax. Then he suddenly appeared and caught them off guard. You know, even a group of 2 police officers are tired. There are other groups of police officers helping to keep an eye on it. Han Fei believes this is a psychological war of attrition. So stupid. As the night progresses, there are more pedestrians, and this area is considered a busy city. Soon, the number of pedestrians increased again. Passersby often blocked the plainclothes police officer's view. But even so, no one dared to relax. I was afraid of making a mistake. At 8:22, the program crew's cell phone in Han Fei's pocket suddenly rang. This sudden sound. Han Fei and Li Chen were shocked. The colleagues nearby thought that something had been discovered. Han Fei waved to his colleagues who came over to check the situation to signal that everything was fine, then picked up the phone and heard Shumo's voice. You don't seem to be doing exactly what I said. I have a female celebrity as my hostage. You? Han Fei was a little annoyed when he heard it, and looked around. I have done everything you asked for. Yeah. Shumo's teasing voice sounded. TSK, do as I say. Did I tell you to put the black travel bag on top of this trash can? Put it in the trash can next to the bus stop shelter. Having said this. Beep, beep. There was a dead tone after the phone was hung up. Han Fei frowned and looked around frantically. What's wrong, Captain Han? Asked a plainclothes officer nearby. Han Fei lowered his voice and said in a suppressed tone, Damn, Shumo is nearby and observing us. Chapter 26, Sheep in the Wolf's Circle. Hearing this, the plainclothes officer and Chen Ku next to him changed their expressions drastically. They all looked around. Han Fei grabbed the plainclothes officer. Don't look. Since that guy dared to call us, he must be confident and thinks we can't find him. If you look around like this, it will arouse his vigilance and ask someone to observe him secretly. Ask the colleagues standing on a high-rise buildings to use binoculars to observe if there are any suspicious people nearby. Also remember to remind other colleagues to cheer up. The plainclothes officer nodded and quickly left to carry out the order. Chen Ku saw that Han Fei's face didn't look very good. Captain Han, what did Shumo say? Han Fei's face turned pale and he pointed to the bus stop on the other side. He told us to throw our black travel bags with our money in there. There are big problems in that place. Not only are there bus shelters blocking the view, the rows of trees and vegetation on both sides of the road directly blocked the view of colleagues holding binoculars in the high-rise buildings. It's simply a wonderful place. Impossible. Chen Ku blurted out. Immediately rejected Shumo's request. Han Fei said angrily, what else? That guy threatened us with the hostages in his hands. Even though it's fake, we won't do it. What do people who are watching the live stream think? You're saying that we don't care about human life? We're mediocre and incompetent. Chen Ku lost his temper all of a sudden. I know it's a trap. You have to jump in. This kind of humiliating feeling is really unpleasant. Han Fei went to move the black travel bag. Chen Ku used the intercom to communicate with other plainclothes officers. Clearly explain the location for changing the bag containing money. Everyone moved towards the bus shelter. But no one dared to get too close. Stand about 10 meters away and observe the movements here. Something happened that made their scalps tingle. No matter where you stand, the view will be more or less obstructed. High altitude observation is completely useless. Damn it. Chen Ku's mouth twitched and he complained unhappily. Han Fei was also helpless. As more and more pedestrians appeared, more and more passengers began to take this bus. Plainclothes officers mixed in with the crowd. I just feel a lot of pressure. Everyone was in a tense state, waiting quietly for the prey to take their bait. Time passed by every second. Not long. Here it comes. Han Fei's eyes suddenly widened. Everyone held their breath. His eyes were fixed on a young man who was acting furtively and looking around from time to time. The young man, with dyed yellow hair and wearing loafers, walked towards the trash can where the money was placed. He walked and stopped, as if he felt very guilty. Attention all units, sheep have entered the wolf pen, sheep have entered the wolf pen. Han Fei was tense and whispered a reminder into the intercom. The plainclothes officers hiding in the crowd subconsciously slowed down their breathing. Like a purse in a trash can. Once taken out by the yellow-haired young man, they immediately swarmed over and arrested the man. Chen Ku frowned. Damn it. Is Shumo crazy? Do you think you can just pull one or two people from the street and test them? Chen Ku didn't think that the blonde young man could take the money away easily. On the contrary, they can also arrest the blonde young man and find out Shumo's whereabouts from him. This guy's actions are just very suspicious. It is difficult to define whether it is specifically related to Shumo. The blonde young man was getting closer and closer to the trash can. Finally stopped next to the trash can. Everyone's spirits were tense to an unprecedented level. Han Fei stared at the blonde young man, and the walkie-talkie in his hand was put to his mouth at some point. Chen Ku was also nervous and rolled up his sleeves, waiting for Han Fei's next instructions. Move. Move. Chen Ku muttered to himself and couldn't help urging himself on in his heart. The blonde young man. It just stopped next to the trash can. Then he looked around cautiously, like looking for something. From beginning to end, he did not touch the trash can less than half a meter away from him. The time is at this moment. It seems to be getting slow. Every second is torture. The yellow-headed young man hesitated to take the next step. No one is sure. Is this yellow-headed young man related to Shumo? What the hell? Han Fei frowned. To be honest, he couldn't see what the yellow-headed young man wanted to do. Only about 3 minutes had passed. Everyone thought a century had passed. The next moment, the yellow-headed young man, who had been slow to move, finally moved. I saw him put his hand on the lid of the trash can. Fuck you. Chen Ku swallowed his saliva. Lean forward slightly. Like an arrow ready to fly at any time. As long as the yellow-headed young man dares to take out the black travel bag from the trash can. He immediately rushed forward first. Catch the yellow-headed young man. Everyone get ready. Han Fei held the walkie-talkie in his hand, his eyes narrowed like a falcon. I saw that the blonde young man had already put his hand into the trash can. Like he was picking up something. They don't have a very broad vision. But you can feel that the blonde young man is looking for something. Okay? Seeing the yellow-haired young man slowly retract his hand, Han Fei subconsciously gave the order. But the next moment, all the plainclothes officers were ready to take action. Stop the action. Stop the action. It happened in the blink of an eye. Some teams were eager to make a contribution and had already started running towards the blonde young man. Just when he was 5 meters away from the blonde young man, they paused. In fact, Han Fei didn't need to remind him. The distance between the two sides is shortened. They also understood why Han Fei called a stop. The blonde young man didn't even touch the black luggage bag containing the money. Just reached into the trash can and took it out. Seeing two strangers suddenly rushing towards here without saying a word, the blonde young man was startled. He couldn't help but stagger back a few steps. Chapter 27. We can't afford to gamble. What are you doing? The blonde young man asked nervously and hesitantly. The two plainclothes officers looked unhappy. One of the plainclothes officers asked angrily, ignoring his companion's pulling. Mad. How dare you ask me what I do? What are you doing here? The blonde young man was stunned at first. Then his pupils suddenly lit up. A look of joy appeared on his face. Said nervously. Fight the tiger tonight. The two plainclothes officers looked confused. You look at me and I look at you. I asked you what are you doing here? The plainclothes officer with a quick temper asked through gritted teeth. He felt like the blonde young man was playing a trick on him. The blonde young man scratched his head and continued to repeat. Fight the tiger tonight. At the same time, another plainclothes officer hurried over. I'm sorry, my two buddies mistook you for me. We recognized the wrong person. After saying sorry, the three of them left. The blonde young man in moccasins was stunned for a moment, then a big smile appeared on his face again. He looked around again. It seems that what I am looking for is not found. Left with some regrets. Fighting tigers tonight. Han Fei looked at Chen Ku. Do you know what this means? Chen Ku thought for a moment and analyzed. That person doesn't look like a psychopath. If he isn't a psychopath, then he said something that would make him look like one. Then the meaning behind it is worth pondering. But it's also possible that the man was talking nonsense. Han Fei nodded and agreed, not bad. Just when Han Fei wanted to say something else, a voice came over the intercom. There's another suspicious person approaching the trash can from Team Han. What? Han Fei and Chen Ku were extremely alert. All four eyes turned back to the trash can. The person who came over this time was a middle-aged man dressed in casual intermediary clothes. The intermediary man performed the same actions as the blonde young man before. First look around. Then he sneaked over to the trash can. Reached his hand in. Shit. This time it's over. Chen Ku's eyes were burning and he couldn't help but swear. Han Fei's eyes were sharp, as if they could see through people's hearts. Pick up the intercom. As soon as the intermediary man appeared in his hand, a black travel bag appeared in the next moment. The plainclothes officers mixed in the crowd arrested him immediately. Even though there was the example of that blonde young man who came here by accident just now. It was eventually discovered that he was not the suspect. No one relaxed at all. Instead, I became even more nervous. She stared at the intermediary man with a keen gaze. Not long. The agent pulled his hand back from the trash can. There was nothing in his hands. Simply putting it in and taking it out. This operation really confused them. What's going on? What does that person mean? I don't know. I don't understand. The only thing we know is that the middle-aged man, like the yellow-haired young man just now, is not a suspect. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. It didn't take long before someone else approached the trash can. Everyone staring at the trash can had a fucked up look on their face. Damn it. What the hell is going on? This time the one who came over was a pretty girl. The girl is wearing hanfu. Do the same thing as the previous two people did. He sneaked over to the trash can and looked inside. Then he put his hand in. Waited for about a minute or two. He took it out again, touching nothing with his empty hands. Then left. Everyone's mood was like being on a roller coaster. Up and down. Sometimes I feel nervous, sometimes I feel relieved. Then I got nervous again. And so on. There are trash cans everywhere. A total of 6 people came. They are a blonde young man wearing moccasins, a middleman, a pretty girl wearing hanfu, a successful person in a suit and tie, a child eating a lollipop, and an old lady carrying a vegetable basket. Once or twice is okay. But someone else came later and couldn't make sense. At this moment, Han Fei and Chen Ku noticed something was wrong. Damn it. Those people are here to gather intelligence. They must have been hired by that guy. I just don't know where he is hiding. Chen Ku clenched his fists. No matter who it is next time. He even dared to approach the trash can and put his hand in it. He arrested the person directly. Han Fei was silent, obviously agreeing with Chen Ku's point of view. His eyes became deeper. The next moment. Buzzong. The cell phone in Han Fei's pocket suddenly vibrated. He just pressed the answer button. An urgent voice came from the other side immediately. Captain Han. Shumo moved the 5 million in the bank card. What? Han Fei was stunned. As an experienced former captain of the Criminal Investigation Division, his intuition told him, this is most likely a trap. But he couldn't care too much at this time. Han Fei continued to ask, what's going on? The technicians just noticed something. Shumo's bank card is showing a withdrawal. Location. The bank ATM machine next to the traffic light at the second intersection of Chengnan Avenue. Beep, the phone is hung up. My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's even more exciting later. Chen Ku had a bad feeling. What happened to Captain Han? Han Fei explained simply, someone withdrew money from Shumo's bank card. Chen Ku was stunned for a moment, frowned and analyzed, this behavior is undoubtedly seeking death, he must have a purpose for doing this. What Chen Ku said makes sense. Just now we figured out that Shumo was definitely nearby observing us. Not long after, Shumo's bank card moved, and it was in the opposite direction from here. It was quite far away. After a pause, Han Fei's eyes were deep. It's impossible for there to be 2 Shumo at the same time, right? My mind works very quickly. Otherwise, it would not be his turn to take the position of former captain of the Criminal Investigation Department. Chen Ku said in a deep voice, that's impossible. That's right. Let's continue to interpret the meaning of his actions. I didn't expect that he clearly wanted to disperse the police force in our hands. Han Fei stated Shumo's most fundamental and direct purpose. That Shumo is leading us by the nose, and we have to obey him? Why? Chen Ku got angry. It was so fucking aggrieved. They were like cows tied with a rope, and they were still not allowed to have a temper. However, the next moment, Han Fei said helplessly. With the initiative in his hands, we really have to disperse. He has the opportunity to gamble, and it doesn't matter if he fails once, but we don't. Because we can't gamble. It was exactly as Han Fei said. Chen Ku also knew it. But there is just an indescribable feeling of frustration. Han Fei patted him on the shoulder. Don't blame yourself. From the beginning, he took advantage of our hearts. That's why he divided the money into 2. We can't bet that the one who took the money wasn't Shumo, and we can't bet that the one who's here isn't Shumo. This guy is sure that we can't afford the gamble, and we dare not gamble. He sets traps for us step by step, so even though we know it might be a trap, we still have to send some of it over. If what's over there is real, we're doomed. Then who should we send? Chen Ku calmed down. Just as Han Fei said, they didn't even have the qualifications to gamble. Han Fei let out a breath and expressed his thoughts. Let Manny and Li Chen lead half of the brothers over there. If they encounter the real Shumo, they will have enough manpower to capture him. Chen Ku nodded, took out the communicator, and arranged what Han Fei had asked him to do. The number of plainclothes officers mixed in with the crowd soon dropped by half. 2 white Harvard H9s were speeding along the main road, one in front and one behind. Drive towards the second intersection of Chengnan Avenue. In one of the cars, Shenmani frowned. The more she thought about it, the more she felt something was wrong. Shumo asked us to disperse our forces. He obviously knew that we couldn't have our cake and eat it too. We had to give up one of them. Do you think he would take advantage of us if we left? Li Chen, it's hard to say. What if Shumo does the opposite and withdraws money from the bank? We'll be doomed if we just stand there and wait. Shinmani's face was solemn. She was a leader in criminal psychology. She was not sure about Shumo's true intentions. No matter which side you choose, if you make the wrong choice, you will have to bear the corresponding responsibility and pay a heavy price. So no one dares to gamble. Chapter 28, the travel bag was taken away. At this stage, with everything still unknown, no one dares to say that they know Shumo's next plan. Regarding this unknown situation that was like hovering on the edge of a knife, both Shinmani and Li Chen felt a sense of crisis and excitement. Especially Shinmani, a leader in the field of criminal psychology. It's rare to meet such an unpredictable guy. Her bright eyes flickered with excitement. That's what makes it interesting. Isn't he it? Two Haval H6s were running wildly on the main road, quickly approaching the second intersection of Chengnan Avenue. They were taking a special channel, and every minute and every second was precious at this time. The faster we are, the greater our chances of catching Shumo. Urxiankia Wanderplaza is originally more than 20 minutes drive from this intersection. But they arrived in 12 minutes. Bang! Li Chen, Shinmani and 7 or 8 plainclothes officers got out of the car quickly. They rushed into the bank. Long before they arrived, the bank staff had been notified and were waiting here. We are hunting for wanted criminals. Please cooperate with us and retrieve the surveillance. The staff member might be new and had never seen such a scene, so he was a little nervous when he heard Li Chen's instructions. Okay. Hold on. He hurriedly checked the surveillance footage. In the surveillance video, a figure with messy hair and tattered and messy clothes appeared. He rubbed his hands and seemed a little excited. While waiting, the man looked around and seemed very nervous. After withdrawing a lot of money, the man seemed even more excited. He took the money and quickly disappeared from the surveillance field of view. Something's wrong. Li Chen and Shinmani looked at each other and said with certainty. Although this person looks very similar, he is most likely not Shumo. Of course, we cannot rule out the possibility that Shumo deliberately disguised himself. He possesses a super brain known as a human camera. My memory is terrible, and I can remember things after just one look. Naturally, Shumo's figure had already been firmly memoized in his brain. Shinmani also said, that's right, this person was very nervous and didn't get much money. His excitement after getting the money was very different from Shumo's calm and shrewd attitude. With her level of knowledge, she can often easily see a person's state and psychological condition from the details of his voice and movements. But I can't rule out the possibility that this wasn't a deliberate performance by Shumo to confuse the audience. After Li Chen got Shinmani's affirmation, he quickly took out his mobile phone and called the police station. This is Li Chen, requesting the surveillance footage near the bank at the second intersection of Chengnan Avenue. Hurry up. Soon, the video was transmitted via the mobile phone app. In the picture, the man jogged happily after getting the money, and looked at the bag in his hand from time to time. He walked into the bustling street, picked things along the way, and finally swaggered into a high-end 5-star restaurant. This person is not Shumo, but he must be related to Shumo, and he should have some clues about Shumo. Or, this person is now handing the money to Shumo. Let's chase after them. Up to now, it has only been 18 minutes since they set out from Erskian Bridge. 3 minutes later, they arrived at Mantig's restaurant. Li Chen took the lead. After walking into their hall, he glanced around and found the man sitting in the corner among the crowd. There. All of the plainclothes officers rushed over. Surround the man. The man was so startled that half of the lobster fell out of his mouth. What are you doing? Shinmani frowned slightly. This guy's expression seemed to show that he knew nothing. And Li Chen has already started to question, don't you know what we are doing? Tell me, where is Shumo? The man blinked. What Shumo? I don't know Shumo. Who are you and what are you going to do? We are police officers. A plainclothes officer took out his ID and questioned, you don't know Shumo? Where did you get the card to withdraw money? Shinmani pulled him and said, he really doesn't know Shumo. We have been lured away from the mountain. The man who was having dinner also knew about the card they were talking about. He said, are you talking about the card I used to withdraw money? This was given to me this afternoon by a rich friend who felt sorry for me. He's such a nice guy. He said he felt sorry for me and gave me this card with 5 million in it. I can take as much as I want. Take it and spend it as you like. Even if you are the police, you can't control this. Shinmani covered her forehead and Li Chen also frowned. The plainclothes officer now realized that Shumo had played a trick on him and was immediately furious. I ran a long way, tried my best to catch it, and came across this thing. You dare to use a card given to you by a stranger? If that person is a criminal, or if this card is full of dirty money, you are an accomplice of the criminal, it is illegal, and you will go to jail. Do you understand? The man was stunned for a moment, then said nonchalantly, I am a Sanher talent, I have no food to eat, and I live like a dog every day. I can spend so much money to enjoy myself. Who cares? As he spoke, he grabbed the lobster on the table and stuffed it back into his mouth. Then, while eating, he said, You guys are going to arrest someone and wait for me to finish this meal, okay? My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's even more exciting later. This big lobster is worthy of being a 5-star hotel. It's really delicious. The group was speechless. It was obvious that Shumo had no intention of using the money in the bank card. This was just a way to confuse people. A Sanher great man who doesn't even have an ID card. I don't care that much at all. The two met by chance, and it was impossible for Sanher God to know more information about Shumo. The line has been broken. Shinmani immediately reported the situation here to Chen Ku. Keep a close eye on your side, the bank card has been abandoned by Shumo. The people here are just a cover. The bank card has been taken back. Wait, where's the card? The plainclothes officer immediately questioned the Sanher God, where's the card? Throw it away. Sanher God said hesitantly, and the whites of his eyes subconsciously moved upwards and then returned to normal. Throw it away. Shinmani noticed his slight expression and chuckled, I think it's on you. How could she not see that this Sanher God was lying? Really not. Sanher God still wanted to deny it. Shinmani didn't say much and directly ordered the plainclothes police to search her. Soon, several plainclothes officers searched the homeless man. But no bank card was found. Sister Shin, I didn't notice. Shinmani couldn't help but frown and asked again, I'm asking about the card again, you don't say you're going to jail. As he said that, he picked up the silver white handcuffs. The Sanher God had no choice but to answer, I hid the card. Who told you to hide? The person who gave me the card told me that once I withdraw money, I should hide the card immediately, otherwise someone will come and snatch it away. I never thought it was you police officers who came and snatched it away. This Shumo is such a dog. Hearing this, Shinmani couldn't help but spit. What do you mean? Li Chen asked. Shinmani then said, he will definitely not use the card again, but we can't just ignore the bank card. There are several million in it. Let a few brothers and this Sanher God go and recycle the bank card. We have to go back there quickly. This guy is distracting us and wasting our time. He should be taking action over there. Shinmani had just finished speaking. Next second. The situation on the other side was transmitted through their wireless intercom. Someone took the black travel bag from the dumpster. It was a man in a suit. He's running. Attention all units, chase them.